You have dragon's blood in your veins. Be a dragon.
You don't want to wake the dragon, do you?
I'm a dragon!
The world hasn't seen a dragon in centuries.
We're all liars here.
The dragon.
There is only one God, and his name is death.
And there is only one thing we say to death. Not today.
Dragon, dragon. Dragon, dragon. Dragon, dragon.
The dragon.
Dragon.
Dragon, dragon. Dragon,
Dragon.
dragon. Dragon.
The dragon.
Be a dragon.
Dragon.
Thousand blades.
Dragon.
The dragon. Dragon.
I'm a vile man. I confess it.
I'm the dragon!
Listen.
What is this brief mortal life?
Dragon.
If not the pursuit of legacy.
Dragon.
Can't we get along? No! Nobody gets along. Everybody sucks. Not blacks and whites. Every fucking body. I hate everybody and everything about every fucking body.
It is known.
Those people are scumbags! What are you laughing about? You're a scumbag.
When a dragon is free to roam, everything I choose violence.
Dragon.
Listen.
We're about to sit down and spend some time with my friend, the Red Dragon, Reese from Philly, live.
They see you as you are.
But what do we have left once we abandon the lie?
Chaos. A gaping pit waiting to swallow us all.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.
Chaos.
Chaos. Chaos isn't a pit.
Chaos.
Is a ladder. From chaos. Do you know what the realm is?
Chaos.
Whoever loses dies.
Chaos. A story we agreed to tell each other.
Chaos.
Is a ladder. From chaos.
Chaos.
Over and over. Chaos
Chaos.
is a ladder. From chaos. Do you know what the realm is?
Chaos.
We forget that it's a lie.
Whoever loses dies.
A gaping pit waiting to swallow us all.
From
Chaos.
is a ladder. From chaos. For the good of the realm.
Whoever loses dies.
Chaos. From chaos. For the good of the realm. Chaos. Chaos. For the good of the realm.
Chaos. Chaos.
I did what I did for the good of the realm. Good of the realm.
Dracarys.
All right, I'm live. Wow. So we're talking LA fires today and my opinions about what I think is going on in the world. And all I can do is speculate. Because all I have is the information that I can Google in my own two eyes. But it's looking like something really, really massive is going on in the world. Something life-changing for everyone here, because there's too many events happening back to back to back, and they're successive, and then they are not stopping. Colossal events that would have carried the news for months, decades ago. But now, world-shocking events, and 3 days later, you're not even talking about it no more. You're talking about something totally new. California is on fire. There was a bitter frost in the East Coast for at least the past 10 days. I mean, there's chaos going on everywhere. I have some images some videos to share, and my opinions on what's going on. I'm going to start off by showing some videos from TikTok from these fires. People are seeing things in the fires that, I don't know. A lot of these videos are suspect. You got things in the smoke and in the fire flying around that look like spaceship. Let's look at some of this.
Wildfires are on track to be one of the costliest in U.S. history, with losses already expected to rise above $135 billion.
Come on.
The blaze continues to rip through some of America's most expensive properties, including the homes of Hollywood celebs like Paris Hilton, who lost her $8.4 million house, and Miles Teller's $7.5 million drone.
Wow.
Meteorologists are forecasting that the raging wildfires will also have long-term effects on health and tourism in the state. The LA wildfires are on track to be one of the costliest in U.S.
All right, so that's an interesting clip right there. They're estimated at, I don't know, what do you say, $135 billion? That's a lot of money. That's a whole lot more than the George Floyd riots. Wow, that's like, those sound like the numbers that we're sending overseas to Ukraine. So, and if you notice, each one of these events costs the taxpayers a whole bunch of money. I don't know if you're paying attention. A lot of these colossal events over the last 4 years have cost taxpayers astronomical amounts of money. And I don't think this is going to stop until Trump gets in office, if he gets in at all. Let's look at some more. Wow, $135 billion in damage. Let's look at this one more time, man. This is
U.S. history, with losses already expected to rise above $135 billion. The blaze continues to rip through some of America's most expensive properties, including the homes.
That's another thing that's striking too. Like this isn't Hurricane Katrina, right? This isn't in the hood. This is in the hills. Whew.
The house is totally engulfed in flame. Have a secondary home behind it. It's gone. The car, it's gone. The trailer, it's gone. Everything is gone. And I didn't take it serious, so I didn't grab anything because I'm like, okay, we're gonna be all right. She was saying, hey, get up, get up, get up. And I just laid there because I'm used to going through tragedy living in California.
Okay, wait a minute. Right? Let me pause this. Let's stop it right here. Okay, an interesting thing. This whole block is on fire, but that tree is not. Does look like one of the trees burned, though. Wow. This is wow, look at that. That's not too far from the Hollywood sign. It could make its way there. I wonder if this Hollywood sign on that hill is going to get burned down eventually. That would be something else. I wouldn't mind seeing that shit on fire. Burn it down. I wouldn't mind seeing that thing on. That would make my day to see that Hollywood sign up in flames. Be a nice thumbnail. Make it happen, man.
Hey guys, welcome to my crib.
Wow.
Come over here.
Look at all of the tree. Somebody explain this to me. Someone explain to me how all of these trees still stand. I hope you guys can see my mouse. I'll narrate. If you look back in the background behind her, you see smoke. You see a damaged building. You see the wall was burned. Right here, a tree, nothing wrong. Another tree, nothing wrong. More trees, still intact while all these buildings, let's rewind a little bit. Her house is on the ground. Nothing wrong with the trees. I want an explanation for that. The leaves are still on them.
Come over here.
Oh my God. Can't believe it.
We can barbecue. Come over here.
She had a fly house too.
We could light a fire, but as you see, we already have one back here. Hungry? Grab an orange.
Can someone tell me? Can someone tell me how her house burned to the ground, but her orange tree is still intact? I don't get it. Maybe it's me. I'm starting to think it is me.
And that's my crib. Thanks for coming. Hey guys, welcome to my crib.
Sheesh.
Come over here.
Nice house.
Why aren't firefighters using ocean water to fight the wildfires in LA? Let me explain. Even though some fire hydrants are running dry, using ocean water is not ideal for several reasons. First, salt water is corrosive. It damages hoses, tanks, and pumps, making equipment costly to maintain and shortening its lifespan. Second, the high salt content harms the environment, potentially leaving the landscape barren for years to come.
Wow.
Third, transporting ocean water inland is a logistical challenge. The infrastructure needed to pump and distribute it on a large scale is expensive and energy intensive. For now, firefighters rely on urban water systems, even as they struggle to keep up. The solution isn't as simple as using the ocean. It's a complex battle against nature and logistics. Why aren't firefighters using ocean?
That's interesting. Satellite footage. This is bullshit. There's no way. Oh, that is not a real video. I'm calling this video fake. I'm not buying this one. Nah. Traffic? Evacuation traffic? This part of the United States is in chaos. Look at that.
My mom bought this house.
Damn.
I moved here when I was in the 8th grade. When I was 13, 12 or 13. I'm 61. My children, they all live here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a story behind every house that's on the ground, bro. You're not the only one. It's not just you. Wow, look at the before and after. Hang on a second. Let me go back. I want to see that again. Look at that. Look at... I don't know if there's any Game of Thrones fans out there. But this is what Westeros looked like after Daenerys Targaryen burned it. This is crazy. God damn. And in both pictures, most of the trees are still there. That does not make sense. The picture on the bottom, look how many trees are still alive and not with leaves on them. This does not make sense. I'm sorry.
Well, good morning, Los Angeles.
Wow.
Look at this goddamn shot. It looks like, look at this.
Wow.
Ooh, wow.
What the hell is going on, man? And if I'm not mistaken, these fires
good morning,
are records.
Los Angeles.
I'm going to find a
Look
news
at this
story.
Goddamn shot. It looks like, look at
this is crazy.
One day.
Well, good morning, Los Angeles. Look at this.
This stunning view takes you beyond the numbers and captures the absolute devastation from wildfire.
Trees everywhere, right next to the properties, with leaves on them. All of the trees are still there.
Ravaging the Los Angeles area. Home after home after home, gone, with little left but the smoke rising from burned out buildings. The ferocious winds that ignited 5 major fires were lighter on Thursday, but additional rounds of Santa Ana winds are possible from Thursday night into early next week, so the fire danger is not over. More than 2,000 structures have been destroyed. That number is expected to increase.
Oh, yeah.
At least 5 people have died.
Damn. Well, the death toll went up. It was at 4.
minutes ago. That itself is troubling and alarming. The concern is all these ashes are falling on top of this house and the house next door. We're actually Good Samaritans who talked to the homeowners on their Ring camera who evacuated already, who gave them access to try to get up on the roof. And you see the one guy right now as they're trying to throw the hose up on the roof so they can start to spray the palm tree itself. But as you see, pieces are falling down right here in the driveway. Obvious concern here is the fact that if one of these homes catches fire, it really goes up and fire crews haven't been cleared just yet. There's always a concern the next one and this entire block goes up. But he's spraying it pretty good with the hose at the moment where it seems to be partially going out. Obviously, we've been talking about the big concern about this fire so close to all the tightly packed homes in the Hollywood Heights and the Hollywood area. If this catches a house,
all of these brave reporters that go into war zones and riots and stuff, they all sound the same. They make everything sound so urgent. Actor reveals damage to his Pasadena home from California wildfire. All of his plants still there.
But now there is a new threat. According to the FAA, a super scooper was grounded after it was struck by a drone, damaging the wing. The FBI is now assisting using what they're calling aerial armor to prevent other drones from taking off.
Wow.
But now there is a new threat.
Sadly, many insurance companies.
I miss you, Kamala.
Insurance.
I miss you.
For a lot of the families who have been affected and will be affected, which is only going to delay or place an added burden on their ability to recover.
Wow.
And I think that is an important point that must be raised, and hopefully there can be some way to address that issue, because these families, so many of them, otherwise will not have the resources to recover in any meaningful way. And many of them have lost everything. Sadly, many insurance companies have canceled insurance for a lot of the families who have been affected and will be affected, which is only going to delay or place an added burden on their ability to recover. And I think that is an important point that must be.
This happened on your watch, Miss Harris. Yeah, this happened on your watch. You got a lot of questions to answer when your administration is up. I think you are in big trouble, sister. Big trouble. I'll leave it at that. This looks like CGI. Wow. Yeah, that's CGI.
This is your street. This is it.
The scenes along 86-year-old Roosevelt Pullum's Altadena Street were apocalyptic as we drove him back to his house today.
Damn.
The sight of its remains overwhelmed him.
Not the Benz. Not the Benz.
He recalled where he was when the flames started approaching, working on one of his cars.
This was my lady.
That house was home for nearly 40 years.
That was my peach tree.
As the sun rose this morning over Los Angeles, thick smoke filled the air, and the scale
Doesn't
of
even look like
devastation
daytime.
became clear.
Good morning, Robert.
Today, Los Angeles County Sheriff Robert Luna said the damage was catastrophic.
Some of them look like a bomb was dropped in them, where we will be able to bring in canines and other things to help us hopefully not discover too many fatalities. That's our prayer.
Winds subsided enough Wednesday and overnight to allow firefighters to attack from the sky, dropping water and retardant in the burning hills and mountain ranges that semicircle Los Angeles. But dangerous wildfires continue to burn across LA County.
Let me just say that
today, the city's mayor, Karen Bass, responded to criticism that fire hydrants used to fight the massive Palisades fire ran dry.
The fire hydrants are not constructed to deal with this type of massive devastation, and that the number one problem, especially, was the fact that we weren't able to do the air support because of the winds. And so, of course, I am absolutely frustrated by that.
Los Angeles Fire Chief Kristen Crowley said extreme fire behavior is still possible.
Today, it is absolutely imperative that as we move into day 3 of this firestorm, all members of our Los Angeles community maintain vigilance.
A new fire Wednesday in the Hollywood Hills forced more mandatory evacuations, but firefighters made headway with the blaze and the order was later lifted. Today, President Biden addressed the fires from Washington.
I also want everyone in Southern California to know we're going to keep at it. We're sticking with this. We're going to continue to sending everything, literally every resource we can find that's appropriate to help the governor and the first responders.
In Pasadena, the convention center has become a clearinghouse of calamity. This is where hundreds of evacuees of the Eaton fire ended up when they had nowhere else to go.
As far as I know, my house is totally engulfed based on the fact that on both ends of the streets, both of the houses were on fire.
Nakia Rhodes and her two daughters among them. They had little time to flee and no warning.
I could see flames rolling down the hills. I could see it rolling up the hills. I could see them going left. I could see them going right. I've seen everything the wind was doing to the fire. And I'm wondering, why isn't anyone telling us to evacuate? You know,
It sounds like you have reason for some frustration at officials right now.
I do. I do. They failed me twice. They failed me by not telling me to leave my house with my daughter and my little baby. And nobody's telling me anything except for there's a cot in the other room.
17-year-old Destiny is a senior at Pasadena High School.
Since the power was out, we had no way to see. Like, we couldn't look it up on our phones because we had no power and no internet.
Yeah,
and
we couldn't watch the news.
We couldn't watch the news. So we had no idea what was happening. And all we saw was fire and red.
Longtime Altadena residents Patty and Bruce Brown have survived previous wildfire scares, but this one was different.
We always rode it out. This time it was different because we had to leave. It's the first time we've ever been to a shelter in our life.
They were able to save their dog, Captain, but they don't yet know how their beloved and one-of-a-kind house fared.
So we live in a house built from 1930.
Or some frustration at officials right now.
I do. I do. They failed me twice. They failed me by not telling me to leave my house with my daughter and my little baby. And nobody's telling me anything except for there's a cot in the other room.
17-year-old Destiny is a senior at Pasadena High School.
Since the power, we had no power to the news.
This time it was different. Because we had to leave. It's the first time we've ever been to a shelter in our life.
They were able to save their dog, Captain, but they don't yet know how their beloved and one-of-a-kind house fared.
So we live in a house built
Peace down. And they are beefing right now, by the way. Yeah. Fascism. Wow. Mm. Wow. British. That's funny. Bullshit. Exactly. Well, that's that. I don't want his opinion. I'm gonna give you mine. I think this is gonna go down, and I think there's gonna be some nonsense. I just can't see Trump taking office peacefully. I can't see that happening. Man's been shot at twice. They're still doing all types of BS. The same slander is going on. I don't know. Too much going on. I'm going to go over to Rumble and watch an interesting video over here. Rumble has the good stuff. The storm is coming. I love titles like that. Where are you? I have no idea what this is about. Watching this randomly. And it's a whole hour. Buckle up and see what it's about. The heavens are shaking. They so dramatic. The great awakening. Mm. Having right. Yo, just so you know, right? The conspiracy heads out here are they're saying that this was started by drones, lasers, like the houses were targeted. They're talking about the trees like me. I don't understand why the trees survived to this anyway. But maybe someday, one day, somebody will explain that. But something fishy is going on. This is not your average forest fire right here. Some of this is not adding up. Forest management? Are you serious? Trump asked you to do forest management years ago, and this could have been prevented. But you said no. This is your fucking fault. Are you fucking serious? Right. We'll see about that. That would have been a good idea, man. These people so goddamn stupid. It's almost like, oh, I hate to say it. It's almost like our government for the last 4 years has been deliberately fucking things up to make everybody's life hell. There's no other logical explanation for what's going on. I think people are just scared to say it. Wow. Stories can't be real. Of course. Wow. 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 He did an Ellen DeGeneres. He did a Umar Johnson. Jackass. Well, do that. This is what. Yo, that could have got ugly. Nope. Hey, listen. People are out there looting, and I am guaranteeing it. I'm not gonna say it. There's gonna be more bullshit in California. Mm. Goddamn person. I'll never pay him. Oh boy. Now the video stuck. Mm. Damn. This is crazy. I would have grabbed plastic trash cans. There had to be some plastic trash cans laying around or something. Come on, y'all. Wow. Oh, really? Wow. I didn't know Jamie Lee Curtis was still alive. Look at that interesting piece of art on the wall back there. What does it make you think of? Oh boy. Comet ping pong. Sicko art with kids naked. This chick is 1,000 years old. Looks like she's preserved with it by adrenochrome. Jamie Lee Curtis was old when I was young, and I'm old. Too bad. Exactly. Exactly. Mm. I know why. Diddy parties. And worse. Ooh. Interesting. Wow. Wow. Uh-oh. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. There's a lot of different theories about why these fires are starting. I'm not going to get into them all. I had my own, right? Because no way in hell do I think this is natural, especially when they pop up in like 5 different places at once. And like I said, you see trees still alive in all those images before and after. It just looks like something happened. Look, I don't want to start sounding crazy, but look what's happening. The world is changing. And things we thought was bullshit before are coming out to be true. You're seeing drones and spaceships and shit all over the planet. There's fog in the sky that's not beating up on people's windshields. Dangerous mist all over the world. Something from above started these fires. That's my theory. Something from above. So let's see what she says. She thinks this is going to be her reasoning as to why, maybe not the cause. Mm. Wow. Wow, I was just about to. No, you're not. Right. Wow. Wow. That was an interesting. Mm. No. Yeah. What? It is. Wow. Mm. Damn. Mm. Look at that. Wow. Great. Sounds like a criminal. Criminal. Whoa. Yo, how the hell was Hunter Biden able to? Oh, I forgot he made all that money with that bullshit art he sold. Wow. Climate change. No sound in the video? You got to be kidding me. Oh, there has to be a fix for this.
call of these pit bulls on Chamonix Drive near Ford Road, south of where the attack would take place. The officer.
Yo, my fault. Little technical difficulties. Had to get shit together.
I gotta start this. I gotta share it over because people saying the fucking video had no sound, and I wasn't checking it on YouTube. And listen, I'm watching this banging video on Rumble. This cat is saying some shit about this fire, man. This shit's crazy. Now, wait a minute. Some double bullshit going on. This is weird.
I got my shit. Oh.
Now your audio is fucked up. Damn.
Videos come out, put your name and email in that, subscribe to our newsletter box,
All right, let's try.
hit enter, and you will receive.
I have to check it on my phone to make sure that the audio is coming through.
Those updates. Our partners are there. At the bottom of the website, you listen to the video and you're like, man, last week there was this ad and I was listening to it and I really want to get it. Just go to amweknow.com and you will be taken care of on that end. And also you can go to shop.amweknow.com and you'll be able to find all. This is part of the exposure, even though we're not sure exactly how this is all playing out. I'm going to show you some lasers. I'm going to show you some worthless fire hydrants.
Called water flow. Where the where they landing that went on it. To watch those guys put out fire.
Structure. Thieves know they'll face little or no consequences if they are caught. So they're willing to risk the public safety for a small profit, said Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hochman. Yeah. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, who has been away on a taxpayer-funded trip to Africa as a member of a Biden administration of a child inside, just reveals that happiness. So, folks,
you know who that is, right?
No.
That's Jamie Lee Curtis. You don't
you
recognize her from any movie?
Yeah, that's the girl from Alien and shit.
It's fascinating because she's after all these years, she still looks just the way she did back in the day, dog.
You know, it's crazy because
this got adrenochrome written all over it. And look on the wall.
Look. Back then, she was considered bad. Like in the 80s, she was considered a bad bitch back then.
Yeah, she wasn't bad looking.
She's regular Bezzy, man.
She had her own little. She had her own little look about her and shit. She wasn't like. She wasn't like Cindy Crawford or nothing like Bo Derek or none of that.
She was never a hot item. She was always like mid.
She was
to
like
bottom
Janet
shelf.
from Three's Company. Janet from Three's Company hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis always been light work. But
Joan
back
Jett,
then,
that's hard.
back then she was a dame. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yo, look at the picture on the wall, dude. It's a fucking naked kid in a container, man.
You know, recently I got banned on Facebook, right? Because I uploaded a video of Demi Moore, who just recently won an Academy Award. You notice how the Academy Awards happen right before shit start burning up? But that's
all right,
what
wait,
I'm
don't say
saying.
anything else. Let this video play. This watch.
Just a reminder as we go through this, all the areas that were burned down. Jamie Lee Curtis reveals that her Los Angeles home is possibly on fire due to the terrifying Palisades blaze. If you remember the picture that we're looking at on the screen, if you're listening in, it's a picture of a child inside of a container.
Crazy.
She recorded a.
You're not a child, you're a man. So stop wearing so many layers to go outside.
and get the bearskin
Self one time or put a social media post up, and we all caught it, and it was shared throughout the internet, and then she took it down.
Look at that shit.
Why would you put a naked child in a container box on your wall as a picture? What have you been up to? So some folks believe that what's happening is a cover-up of the elites before Trump gets in, because they've been doing some very nefarious things with children. Elaine Stein asked, how evil is Hollywood? James Woods, actually, she posted this, what James Woods
Watch what this chick say right here.
said, because somebody said, James, serious question. As someone who has enormous respect for your talent as an actor, I'm curious, how evil is Hollywood? James Woods says, multiply your worst fears by 100.
Damn, that's crazy.
100. That was June of 2023. I'm going to show you a clip from James Woods later. He had to escape also, and definitely heroic way on Communist News Network. He actually went on that network to talk.
Communist News.
But first, let's talk about somebody who actually has an idea of why these fires might be happening.
The California wildfires are a celebrity cover-up. Hear me out, okay? So mid-2024, P. Diddy, one of the biggest celebrities in the world, right, gets arrested, and we all know for what by this point. And you mean to tell me now the beginning of 2025, celebrities' houses are burning down in the state of California? The rich are losing everything they own, and their houses are just burning down, gone. You know what else could be gone in those fires? Evidence. Call me crazy, but then FEMA doesn't bat an eye to run out and help California, but North Carolina, you know, our friends in the South that got hit by a massive hurricane, people still living in tents, mothers losing their newborn babies because they're freezing to death because FEMA still hasn't helped them. But FEMA's out in California already, helping victims of the wildfires, helping the rich. I said what I said.
Yo.
Well, all right. Well,
that shit lines up. That shit lines
it's
up.
like when you
this is not Hurricane Katrina, dog. Where this is not the hood. This is only rich people, and the whole fucking neighborhood is gone.
Well, the thing is this. You know, I'm not gonna dispute what she's saying, because if I got a stone, right, and I want to kill some birds with it, theoretically, I would love to kill as many birds with one stone as possible. So I say that to say that I'm not going to rule out what that lady is saying, because that could be one of the birds that they hit with that one stone. You know what I mean? But one thing that when we follow the pattern, you know, where these fires, you know, spontaneously combust, so to speak, or calamity strikes, chaos, bullshit, shit just went left, you know, so on and so forth. One thing that we do find with the pattern is that, you know, there's some financial incentive or some gain from it, you know, just like here in Philadelphia, you know, what, about a year and some change ago, they had the I-95 collapse, right? And that they put that shit up immediately. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, I could even see somebody finding an angle on them trying to hide some Diddy type shit with that shit. But the thing is that these motherfuckers had a plan already to redevelop I-95, and conveniently, the shit blew up and got them to expedite that plan. And they got, you know, everybody who was involved got paid, and people got to be able to bring in new materials and so on and so forth. You know, when you see the shit with North Carolina, you know, it just so happened to be all kind of deposits of minerals and materials and shit right where these people, you know, suffer this calamity. You know what I mean? And then the people can swoop in and commandeer shit, you know, whoop-de-whoop, do all the little shit they do. Same shit that we seen in Hawaii, right? We see insurance claims getting denied, you know, These people commandeer the land. They talk to the people about having a smart city, 15-minute cities. They decline that shit, and then a year later, boom, they whole shit go up in smoke. And then now, realtors and all these other people can come in and make money off the shit. So
Yo, they're
same
gonna show
thing with
some aerial pictures of like
right.
the
Now look,
devastation.
same thing with California. Is it a coincidence that right where this fire broke out, that they plan to have the 2028 Olympics? I don't know if you covered that already because I'm late
I
to the
want to
show.
see what these videos. They might get into
You
that.
know what I'm saying? But
Oh, the
we can
whole
get
hour.
into that. But is that a coincidence that they want to have the Olympics in this exact location where these fires broke out? And even when you think about when they come up with these blueprints, I'm gonna close with this. When they come up with these different blueprints and schematics about how they want to change the layout of these cities, and they want to roll out these 15-minute cities, and they want to technologically advance these cities and make smart cities and things like that. And let's say you're looking at blueprints for the future, and you looking at your city or your neighborhood, and they got blueprints, for where you live at, and you say, well, yourself, well, damn, if I got a house here, how y'all gonna put a highway here, or how you gonna put a smart growth center or whatever here? They have to destroy and rebuild. So these things just so happen to give them the opportunity to build the things that they already planned to build in the first place. Now, if you want to think that's a coincidence, then I might have some bridges in my back seat that I could sell you. You know what I mean?
What you said, and that's going on TikTok, getting your information out to people with their opinions on how this is playing out. You guys let us know what you think in the description box below this video. You got a chat board or a comments section. You can just let us know. Terrible. Firefighters caught arguing about prioritizing the historic Getty Museum over occupied homes in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, they'd rather go save this historic Getty Museum. Why? Well, there's rumors of child trafficking in tunnels beneath the museum that have circulated for years. Fact checkers claim they are false as, quote, there has never been an official investigation. Now, listen closely to the end of this clip. I'm going to play this clip, folks, and tell me what you hear. Did Satan enter the chat? Check this out.
Triage of that structure. It's a high priority for that historic building.
I cannot prioritize it that way. There are multiple homes here between PCH and Temescal. My line is to Sunset. I have the high school well involved, along with number of homes between this canyon. I'm not sure why that's a priority or not versus these homes. Can you explain it?
Did you hear that shit? That shit just came out of nowhere. Shut up.
One thing we see,
Your shit is your joint is Borgin.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit better, yeah.
All right, let me muck around with this a little bit here. I might switch phones.
Damn, how did this keep happening, man?
I think I want to come in on that other stream, but yeah, I think I'm gonna use my StreamYard app on my iPhone. You know what I'm saying? So
Your shit is breaking up. It's breaking up bad. That shit getting worse.
Struggle streaming,
Nah, I shouldn't be.
Yeah. Man, listen, it's bandwidth bedlam. You know what I mean? A lot of people on StreamYard.
What happened? It was perfect before. Did you change something?
Nah,
that shit was
listen,
perfect.
We got enough experience with StreamYard to know that shit just get wonky. And it just is what it is. You know what I mean?
See something, man.
I'm on my Humpty Dumpty John today.
You hear that at the end? It's inaudible.
Shout out to G.
Can you explain to us why it's a priority that we go save a museum over people? Can you explain it?
Our tax dollars pay for it, you little bitch.
See, somebody broke into the airwaves and said some crazy shit at the end. Said something, bitch. What the fuck was that?
Between this can, I'm not sure why that's a priority or not versus these homes. Can you explain it?
Our tax dollars pay for it, you little.
That's crazy.
I mean, somebody could have.
Important ass call, yo.
Hear that at the end? It's inaudible.
Somebody could have.
Can you explain to us why it's a priority that we go save a museum over people? Can you explain it?
Our tax dollars pay for it, you little bitch.
Did you understand what he said? Did it sound like a demonic being over the line? Go over there and save my place. I don't know.
Well, I mean, somebody
Interesting because the keyboard, the one that the mainstream media attacks all the time, the one that the politicians attack because they get exposed on there because it's simple questions, it's simple ideas to get us thinking and talking to one another. Oh no, they don't like it because what does it say? We don't telegraph our moves to the enemy. We will, however, light a fire to flush them out.
Hey,
Sunset Boulevard. That's Sunset Boulevard. You can hear the wind blowing. What other things are happening? Oh, yeah. So let's send folks out there and tell them to start starting fires.
We're at 302 Pico, and people are lighting fires now. You can see they lit a fire. These guys, not all the people there, but some of those guys lit that fire, and they're actually, the trees caught fire, and then the palms are catching fire. So civilians are now lighting fires down in the so-called, flats around Santa Monica, Venice. So
very interesting. I don't know. Kind of makes me wonder because when we look at these images, which I'm going to show you, the infrared satellite catching U.S. military setting fires in California using direct energy weapons. Watch.
Yo, this part right here, fam. This shit this nigga's about to show, like, I don't know if I 100% believe this, but for now, I'm going to say this is real. Watch this, yo.
Watch this. You guys remember these? So if you're looking at your screen, if you're listening in, there's little red spots there over California. So as we're watching this, watch, here it comes. You're going to start seeing this guy has this like radar technology deal on his computer, and he can see it actually happening in real time. Here we go. Zap. There's one red line across your screen, straight to one fire. Zap. Another red line straight to the fire. Almost like there's laser weapons being used to shoot and make these fires actually happen. And there's been reports and videos, folks, of people actually looking at and wondering what they're seeing as things are shooting across the sky.
Yep.
Very, very interesting, right? And also, if you're looking at your screen, you'll see all three fires in California starting at the same time. That's right. It's like they just sporadically, like somebody went, poof, and they just lit them all up at the same time, and off they go, and the fires begin. This is not normal, and that's why we have amazing, if you go in the description box below, you can get these videos that I'm showing you now and share them with your friends and family so they're aware of what's happening around this entire fire deal. Check this out.
All right, everyone, welcome back. This is going to blow your mind. Once again, we are looking at Area 51. As these fires are going on in Southern California, they are laying something over Area 51. It's then being shot by the NextRad radar system. You can see that clear as day right here. It is then expanding and being dropped right over Southern California. And then take a look at what happens to Area 51. This is totally insane. This is not normal, and this is not birds or bugs. I can promise you that. There is something very odd going on with the military or something that's taking place in Area 51 and then being dropped in the sky, which is then carried over by the jet stream or some sort of wind pattern into Southern California. I talked about this yesterday when we predicted these wildfires based on a northwest anomaly that we saw, again from the NextRad radar system, which then led to insane wildfires in Ventura. Ventura County. Now we are seeing more and more of this being dumped over Area 51 and then flows into Southern California. What is going on here? And then look at how the next red towers go absolutely berserk. There is no chance that this isn't related, my friends. This is now 2 days in a row we have captured this happening over Area 51 and flowing down into Southern California, exactly where these wildfires are. And I know a lot of people will give us a hard time for talking about this, but how can you not? This is not a coincidence whatsoever. And I'm going to continue digging into this to see exactly how long they continue this for. If you look close enough, you can find stuff like this every day on these satellite charts. All right, so one final time, let's dissect this right here. We have it dropped over Area 51, a perfect lineup with where the base is. And just like yesterday, as soon as it's laid out, we have the zap coming from the radar, the same one coming from Nevada right here. Then we have the expansion as it moves into Southern California. Just like yesterday, those radars start going off and crazy. And that's when this disco party begins in Nevada. Check this out. This is just unbelievable to see.
Can't fit in those jeans. Be careful with beans.
All right, let's talk about beans. That musical fruit. The more you
happening and then have no one point this out. Just as the cloud is getting over Southern California where all the wildfires are, we start seeing the next red towers from different states crisscrossing right over Area 51. Those are where our scalar beams are happening. And this is just insane to watch. You can see that cloud dissipating over Southern California and the Baja. We'll backtrack. You can see it come back and it originates right over Area 51, my friends. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please share this.
That's Into Thin Air on you can find them on X.
Now watch this. I'm going to go to another video. Watch this one.
Thing right here. You tell me what the fuck is going on. It's spinning.
Look at that pink thing in the clouds.
And then watch when I pan over here in a second. And this is all live screen footage from Los Angeles.
This is a live news broadcast too that just came from. So it's not like.
And then what the fuck is that shit, bro?
Look at that shit.
What is that?
Bright lights in the clouds. On live news.
The following closures are in place because of the Palisades fire. This is southbound PCH.
Crazy.
Las Flores Canyon Road.
Well, if anybody watched Stranger Things, right, the ending scene of the last episode that we saw, it looked exactly like the shit that we see.
With those that are receiving.
Watch this one more time. Something is moving across the bottom of the screen, like right through the fire. Look. Damn, what is that? That shit's going fast as shit.
With those that are receiving them at these shelters. So I plan to be wherever I need to be. I'm welcoming people.
What the fuck is that? Look like a rocket.
We're asking people to follow our social medias. City of Santa Monica Instagram handle.
Man.
Let's have our own Instagram handles as well. We'll be sharing the information. But santamonica.gov is the best place to go right now to click on all the links and get air quality reports, evacuation updates, and more information on the fire.
I'm telling you, they've been playing with forest fires over here in New Jersey, man.
Final moment here, Mayor DeGretti. These evacuation orders, again, feel so surreal. I'm sure to you, as you mentioned, this is something that you saw from afar, and here it is coming to you.
So I plan to be
wherever
I need to be. I'm welcoming people.
Something flying around in that
information. We're asking people to follow our social medias. City of Santa Monica Instagram
and it's
handle.
not falling.
Let's have our own Instagram handle.
Flying
well.
around.
We'll be sharing that information. But santamonica.gov is the best place to go right now to click on all the links and get air quality reports, evacuation updates, and more information on the fire.
Again, also helpful. And before I let you go, a final moment
This
here,
is
Mayor
beyond
DeGretti.
crazy.
These evacuation orders, again, feel so surreal. I'm sure.
Shit.
Is updating with tons of information. He gathers this and puts it out for us to see. I'm telling you what is really strange as the Pacific Palisades are gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause that right there. Look at that aerial view right there. Is that bananas or what, bro?
It's just how I look on the show. That's what I'm just telling you. It's like some predictive programming type shit.
That's how it looked. That's how Westeros looked like when Daenerys Targaryen got finished with it. It looked just like this. This is what the war zones in Ukraine and everywhere else. Let me show you some of those images real quick. See if this computer can handle it. Show you some of those images. So I'm gonna show you some Ukraine shit. Look at this. See that joint right there? Skim through some of them. Look at that, right? It's the same type of thing, bro. Cars fucked up. But look, you see these trees ain't got no leaves on them? See how the trees are fucked up too in all these pictures? In all of these pictures, the trees are fucked up. Even though like the landscape looks just like the way, you know, the California fires are leaving shit. All right, there's trees in this picture. But this whole place isn't decimated though. That's only like 3 buildings on fire. Now look at that shit. God damn. There's cities around the world that look like this from war and weather. It looks like there's a reset going on city by city. Like it's going to take years and years, but eventually. Look at that shit. God damn. And California looks the same way. Go back to this image. Same shit. That's bananas. I'm going to show you Hawaii in a minute.
They're gone. 8 years after California voters approved a $7.5 billion water bond to construct water storage facilities, not one project has reached completion. Meanwhile, untold millions of gallons of fresh snowmelt and rain continue to flow wastefully into the Pacific Ocean. Look at this, guys.
It's called the Stilling Basin. And then it flows off into the channel.
Yep, California voters, if they actually did vote for this, they passed $7.5 billion water bond in 2014 to fund water infrastructure projects. And $2.7 billion earmarked specifically. So all those folks in California, if you're out there, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you could pay those taxes. I don't know why you pay for your electricity for your neighbors that can't afford it. I don't know why you allow those bills to get passed that 13-year-olds, it's okay for them to date adults.
That's wild.
I don't know why people stay there when they're taxed to death, when their housing costs are super high, when their water bills are super high, when they pump up gas at 5, 6, 7, who knows how many gallons they put in. But I feel sorry for you and I hurt for you and we pray for you. And there's a lot of people that stay there because of family and I get it. It's unbelievable how people can remain Democrats in the state of California after all of this.
Yeah.
Emerald Robinson, dear Democrats, you did this. You made the city a homeless sanctuary. You decriminalized drugs. You refused to fill the reservoirs. You cut the fire budget. You voted for a communist mayor. You did everything possible to burn it down. It's sad.
I don't know, Mommy. I'm fucking scared.
Hey.
We're gonna go to Kate.
Panic attacks, people running with their cats.
Yo, that's a fat ass cat, yo. That cat is big as a motherfucker, yo. Or she's real small. God damn.
Their bags, trying to get out. Cars all over the place. Imagine seeing the panic and devastation of this and thinking, yeah, we should help, but only if they voted for me.
Wow.
Just vote for me. We'll help you. And these are the things that they get with the votes. Photos showing Hunter Biden's Malibu home burned to the ground by LA fire. LA Fire Chief Kristen Crowley warned Mayor Karen Bass, Democrat, last month the $17+ million she cut from the department's budget severely limited the department's capacity to prepare for, train for, and respond to large-scale emergencies, including wildfires. Yeah. Karen Bass. They didn't fill the reservoirs. They cut $17 million from the fire budget. They sent supplies to Ukraine. They fired firefighters for not getting the jab. They didn't comply with brush clearing. They halted prescribed burns. They let stormwater wash out to sea. But yes, this is all caused by my...
Yo, that sounds like a plot. It literally sounds like the Democrats had a plan to destroy everything. Because all of this whole list is true right here, man. All of it. It's not conspiracy. It's not right-wing rhetoric. It's not right-wing rhetoric. This is literally what they did. It's bananas, man.
Quote, climate change. The key word that gets all of these people to think, oh, it's just climate change. See, that's why these things are happening. It has nothing to do with Newsom, the one that we voted for. It has nothing to do with Pelosi and Maxine Waters and all of the Democrats. No. It's climate change. President Trump says no water in the fire hydrants, no money in FEMA. This is what Joe Biden is leaving me. Thanks, Joe. So all of this is bringing exposure, folks, on many, many levels. And I'm going to get into that in a moment. First, I wanted to take you and remind you that we're at andweknow.com, an amazing website.
Yo, you know 5 people are dead already, right?
Where?
From these fires.
They said it.
Yeah, that's a good question. Find out.
They said it.
11 people? Well, that number has been rising as the day has going on, because this morning it was like 4 when I first heard it. This is crazy. Crazy.
Site. When you go to this site, folks, you're going to find all newsletter, find all. I'd love to see. She's a proud member of LGBTQ plus ABCDEFG.
Yeah, this chick here is I forgot what her position is. But she's taking the news ran down on her to ask her questions about what's happening, and she just ignored them, man. It was like she was stuck. You know how you remember how Mitch McConnell had that robot glitch and Biden had that robot glitch where they froze? That happened to her today when the news ran down on her. This chick right here.
And Janice Quirleons, whatever that name is, CEO of LADWP, salary $750,000, if that's not enough. Let the fire hydrants run dry as Pacific Palisades
Mayor
burn.
of Los Angeles.
There you go. And the story just keeps getting worse and worse. Upon her return from tax money paid trip to Africa, Mayor Bass was heard by a news reporter telling her aide she hopes the fire misses her vacation home. As we're watching Los Angeles, the apocalyptic scenes that you're looking at on your screen, the sun through the fire. Never seen anything like this before. Many people have never seen anything like it. Yep, like the apocalypse. And, you know, you might kind of wonder what's going on with Karen Bass. Who's the real Karen Bass? Here we go.
November 7, 1983. Remember this date, but first, let me introduce you to Karen Bass. Back in the 1970s, community activist Karen Bass went on at least 15 trips to Cuba, many with a group known as the Venceremos Brigade, a Marxist group started by the Castro regime to subvert American interests, weaken democracies, and spread communism around the world. Founded in 1969, the Venceremos Brigade organized trips to Cuba every year for half a century. They attracted the most radicalized and delusional segments of the American left, including overtly Maoist and pro-Soviet communist groups. In fact, a Los Angeles police investigator who infiltrated the group testified to Congress saying that to be a member of the brigade, you had to be confirmed as a Marxist-Leninist. As a brigadista and then moving up the ranks to organizer for the Venceremos Brigade, Karen Bass visited Cuba every 6 months. Their mission? To radicalize young, impressionable American leftists in terrorist tactics and guerrilla warfare. Members of the Venceremos Brigade were even taught how to make bombs.
Jesus Christ.
Karen Bass admits, on her many pilgrimages to Cuba, she went to see Fidel Castro speak several times, even calling him charismatic. And upon his death, praised him, saying, "The passing of Commandant en Jefe is a great loss to the people of Cuba, even though the people of Cuba see him as a dictator who impoverished their island." Another group, the M19, took its belief in revolutionary anti-imperialism to extremes, violent extremes. The M19 was the first and only women-created and women-led domestic terrorist group. Since their founding...
Yo, do you hear this shit, yo? I didn't even notice. You ever heard of this before?
No.
Yeah, let me rewind some of this, man. The first women domestic terrorist group. This is fun.
In fact, a Los Angeles police investigator who infiltrated the group testified to Congress saying that to be a member of the brigade, you had to be confirmed as a Marxist-Leninist, as a brigadista, and then moving up the ranks to organizer for the Venceremos Brigade. Karen Bass visited Cuba every 6 months. Their mission? To radicalize young, impressionable American leftists in terrorist tactics and guerrilla warfare. Members of the Venceremos Brigade were even taught how to make bombs.
Jesus Christ.
Karen Bass admits, on her many pilgrimages to Cuba, she went to see Fidel Castro speak several times, even calling him charismatic. And upon his death, praised him, saying, "The passing of Commandant en Jefe is a great loss to the people of Cuba, even though the people of Cuba see him as a dictator who impoverished their island." Another group, the M19, took its belief in revolutionary anti-imperialism to extremes, violent extremes. The M19 was the first and only women-created and women-led domestic terrorist group. Since their founding in 19...
I'm going to have to look them up and do like a little joint on them. The M19, first female terrorist group.
1978, M19's tactics escalated from robbing armored trucks and abetting prison breaks to building their own explosives and carrying out terrorist bombings.
Damn.
From 1983 to 1984, M19 bombed an FBI office, the Israel Aircraft Industries building, the South African consulate in New York, DC's Fort McNair, and Navy Yard.
You've got to see this.
Man, they was getting
Listen.
busy.
So I quit the boring, slow-paced cardio and started doing something
which they bombed twice. But that wasn't enough for them. On the night of November 7, 1983, the M19 called the US Capitol switchboard and warned them to evacuate the building. Minutes later, the M19 bombed the north wing of the US Capitol. November 7, 2023 marks 40 years since the M19's bombing of the US Capitol.
Wow.
Members of the M19, like Susan Rosenberg, traveled to Cuba with and were radicalized by the Venceremos Brigade. The South Los Angeles Venceremos Brigade was led by Karen Bass, who is now mayor of Los Angeles.
Oh, man, she's no good.
How about that?
Dude.
Do you guys see this? Day after day, we're exposed to more of these freaks who get into power. And somehow, some way, the votes roll in and they simply step in and they say, I'm taking over. Radicalized people. LA County recently posted this video on how they make their firefighters train in cultural inclusivity, equity, and diversity.
God.
That's so important to them. But you know what? There's a reminder that hundreds of Los Angeles top firefighters were terminated or suspended for refusing to take.
You know what, yo? I want a current update on the fires. I want to see what's going on right now. See if they've gotten worse or better. They got some live streams showing the hills on fire. Oh yeah, the fire's getting near that. The fire is actually getting near the Hollywood sign. You know that big Hollywood sign on that hill? Yeah. It's not too far from it. Like there's a possibility it could spread to it. I think it might.
And they got AI photos and shit where like the fire is on the sign and shit, but you know they shooting that shit down and calling it bullshit.
Look at a story that's kind of current. I got to get up off this joint soon. I'm getting tired.
It's a nice day today. Isn't that cold? You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
But you know,
fire across Los Angeles County, nearly 400,000 people still under evacuation orders or warning.
Wow.
almost 10,000 homes and things have burned to the ground. Take there, and you can see that plume of smoke rising into the air off of that hillside. So now let's take a live look at the latest numbers for the largest of these fires.
Shit.
The Palisades and Eaton fires still at the largest fires, 20,000 and 13,000 acres respectively. You're looking at the destruction left in the wake of the Palisades fire. A total of about 35,000 acres have burned already there. The Kenneth fire also broke out overnight and has grown to 1,000 acres. The good news is that crews have made progress in containing each of the 5 major fires that we are tracking. And many residents in the Los Angeles area returning home to piles of rubble. ABC's
They got those fires under control kind of fast, right? This morning they were 0% contained, weren't they?
Well, they saying, basically how that shit go is that they don't release the actual containment of the fire. You know what I'm saying? Because fires can jump back up overnight and shit like that. So if they told people, all right, like this, like if they told people, yo, the fire is 50% contained, and then tomorrow it's like, yo, this should jump to a new area. So they'd tell you that is lower. They tell you that the containment is actually lower than what is actually really been contained. That's usually the procedure. So like they might have 20% of the fire contained, but they'll tell you that we only got 3%. You know what I mean?
They
just
said
to be on the
0.
safe. Yeah, they'd say that too, just to be on the safe side, so that later on today or tomorrow, you got to explain why this fire jumped over here and fucked shit up over here. You said it was 50% contained, so why the fuck is it fucking up shit over here? So they downplay it. They say it's 0% contained, it's 2% contained.
They've only shown one tree burning so far on.
Alex Stone is live in Altadena this morning.
Huh?
But the thing is that this shit looks intentional. It's too many quote unquote. It's too many coincidences, right?
Yeah,
that just allowing this
Area 57.
it's just allowing this city to cook.
It has foul play written all over it, right? And no matter what it is, it's got foul play written all over it.
When you close the airspace, like I literally seen videos of firefighters taking they helmets off and using that to throw water over the fence.
They were using women's pocketbooks.
Yeah, buckets and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's completely ridiculous. Like, all right, you motherfuckers is talking about being a superpower and being the leaders of the free world and all yada yada yada. Is no excuse that why you ain't got no goddamn running water to put out a fire. Not when you're giving out hundreds of billions of dollars, right? You giving hundreds of billions of dollars to different countries, to, terrorist organizations. How you giving money to Afghanistan? Like that's not the Taliban. They got money for everybody else except for Americans and American issues. Infrastructure is fucked up.
That's why Trump kept saying that they hate our country. If you ever noticed that in Trump's speeches, he kept saying it like they hate our country. That's a hell of a statement to be saying, man. That's heavy. That's crazier than calling somebody Hitler.
You got FEMA giving out bare minimum. You got big insurance tycoon denying people coverage, and why isn't the government forcing these people to keep them on?
Look, somebody's gonna come and buy that land, and you know how it goes.
Just on the insurance side, that's foul play. Where you got people getting their insurance, like you deny my insurance a week before the fire, or even hours before the fire. You deny my insurance, or while the fire is going on, you cancel my insurance. Why is the government not intervening and saying, hey, no, you can't do that. You reneging on your contract. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These people getting to move the goalposts when they want to protect their little monies and shit. You know what I mean?
While Trump spoke on that earlier. Did you see Trump's speech earlier?
Nah.
I might play that joint. Yeah, I might play a little bit of that and then roll out of here.
But the shit's out of pocket. You know what I mean? It's complete lawlessness. You know what I mean? So it's like if you a homeowner and you got railroaded by the insurance companies and you done lost everything, at what point do you feel like you ain't got nothing to lose? You know? What kind of anger and you know and bullshit are they creating inadvertently or intentionally? You know what I'm saying?
Of course,
there's a lot of people that's gonna be pissed off about this, and I don't think people just gonna
Morning
take
with
it
a
like
closer
that.
look at the effort going into containing these fires and more on Survivor Stories. Good morning, Alex.
I bet you've never.
Oh, come on with the dumb shit. I'll never pay it. Never. Maybe one day.
Good morning, Jordan. And here in Altadena, it is home after home where just everything is gone. There are a couple of chimneys standing, but that's about it. A lot of natural gas is still coming out of pipes, still some of those on fire, but everything else is melting.
Yeah, you see how the cars are all charred and don't have no paint on them? You notice that?
Right. Right.
Yo, these cars have been completely stripped of their paint, man. And this looks exactly like one of the pictures from Ukraine. Look at that shit there. And that joint right there is not even in a parking spot. How did that fire pick that car up and put it on the sidewalk? You feel me? How did something? All right, man. I'm gonna leave it right here for a second. Let me roll up.
Well,
you know how we do. You know how we do, yo. You know how
now,
we do.
all right. I seen a video of the bulldozer coming down the street and moving cars
out the way and shit.
Yeah, and putting them up on the
Yeah,
sidewalk.
that's
So
a
that
fact.
could be possible.
That's a
Because
fact. But look at
they-
this picture right here. Look at this picture right here. The trash and the debris is going all the way up the street, and right through the middle, all the way across. No bulldozer been up that block yet. Look at the trash. It's all in the street. Nothing's been up that block yet. And that car is on the fucking sidewalk. How did it get there? This happened last time, dog, in the last forest fires. And people cut that shit up and was showing it. What the fuck is going on here?
Well, just like in Buffalo, right? When the shit happened, that the Buffalo was snowed in, and they was finding cars like ramsacked, you know, even bullet holes in cars and shit, and it was coming with moving them cars. But then some people start arguing that maybe they planted those cars there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even this right here, them
Well,
cars
they're
could have been planted. They could have been planted there. You know what I'm saying?
Easily.
Because all right, if something was to blow up right there, then it would be more realistic if the car was on the side or something, twisted up, you know, look like it just.
It just looks like it burned. That's how the cars look downtown during the Floyd riots when they set them on fire. It looked just like that. But they were where they were parked. They weren't up on the sidewalk. That shit's in the middle of the sidewalk. And I highly doubt it they parked it there and left it there when they got off of work. Not like
well, the argument was that when people was panicking, and you know the roads is blocked up, you know streets is blocked up, people trying to drive around, people trying to back up, you know, to get away, you know, get out of the trajectory of the fire, you know, and they saying that ultimately because of these traffic jams are so blocked up that people just left their cars. They just got out and just left their cars wherever they were. That's what they're
left the
saying.
traffic jam there.
Right. That's what they're saying. You know, it's kind of like that movie Leave the World Behind.
That's
You know,
what's going to happen in chaos, dog. Remember I described that scenario to you. If something happens in Philly and when people try to get up north to get over to the rest of the land, people's cars are just going to be all along I-95 just sitting there, and dead bodies from arguments and all of that. That's how it's going to be, and they can make that happen easy.
Well,
Melted,
in
including the cars
in
that
the
are
lead
gone as firefighters are trying to put out the flames.
There are almost no words to describe the devastation in Los
Oh, yes,
Angeles
there are.
County as the wind-driven fires have spread to another area. Across the
Damn.
county, over 10,000 buildings
All right,
destroyed,
stop.
and the number of
Whoa, fam! That morning, this number was 2,000. He just said 10. I wonder if you, yo, are you digging what that means, my nigga? 10,000. How much money is going to be generated in reconstructing and rebuilding that area? 10,000.
Well, they
wait. I got a question for you. Where does this rank against the big news of the last 12 months? Where does this rank against Trump getting shot, the Hunter Biden laptop, the Ukraine war, the VP debate? The top 5, where does this rank right here? 10,000 buildings being destroyed and 132 billion in damage.
Well, all right, let's put. I'm gonna help to put this in perspective.
1 through 5. 1 through 5.
I'm not sure about that, but to help to put it in perspective, so that we can make that analysis, is that this fire is the second worst fire in recorded history for California.
I think they broke that.
So maybe that's what this fire is right now, standing as the second worst fire to ever hit this region. So who knows? It might grow to be number 1. But that
Yo, are
helps
you
to put
100%
it.
sure about that? Yo, I don't think anything like this has ever happened. 10,000 buildings?
Well, they saying that's what I'm saying. As of
Maybe
today,
the acreage, right? Maybe the numbers of acres, but nothing like this is
according-
happening where there's 10,000 buildings.
I can't agree. I can't disprove or
I don't
agree
remember
with
anything.
it. But I'm just going off of what the news is saying.
Mm-hmm.
So as of today, they're saying that this is the second worst fire in California recorded history.
What time was it when they said that?
Like literally like an hour or 2 hours ago.
Oh,
I sent you the broadcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because
I was watching. I was listening to Odyssey, and Odyssey allows you to listen to the radio stations in different cities. And I was listening to LA radio today. You know what I'm saying? So the whole broadcast, they were just.
What you saying?
No, that was it.
Yo, so I know about like the major mega storms that were in the world during my lifetime, right? But I don't know too much about what happened before I was born, but I did hear some stories about some old ancient storms that fucked up a lot of shit, dog. A lot, like decimated cities just like this. But I highly doubt if anything has done 10,000 buildings. 10,000 buildings?
Well, you remember you have fires, big fires in America. That's one of the things that people would suggest was the global reset. Then is that they burnt down the buildings of yesteryear. You know what I'm saying, to make way for
all of them.
Development.
Yo, what do you think's gonna happen when you displace that many rich people? Rich people keep the economy
Rich people. Rich people will just buy another home. We're not talking about
rich people are supply us with jobs and goods, right? They're the ones that supply us with jobs and goods. If you displace, that could have a bad effect, or most of them have a backup plan, though. Something in the stash.
It could,
because
but I mean,
half these people they interviewed said it shit happened to them. But go ahead.
Well, see, the thing is that isn't really about how many businesses have been impacted. People's personal matters are like civil matters, but when it becomes place of businesses. A lot of people work out of their homes, out of their mansions. So their houses actually double as a place of business. So, there's a lot of businesses that were hurt by this, whether inadvertently or directly. You know what I'm saying? But that could drive the cost of wages. You know what I'm saying? The extra necessity for goods. We always see how capitalism works. That's like the dark side of capitalism, is that people will capitalize off of your misfortune. You know what I'm saying?
If that much money leaves that area, because remember, all these people are rich. You gotta assume you're talking 10,000 properties, right? What if each one of those properties is worth like $1 million plus? Dog? That's billions of dollars in property. They already got it up to 136 billion. So you can estimate a rebuild cost like that if you do some studying and compare this to other disasters and how they bounce back and all of that, and figure out some math on how much money it's going to cost. But dog, people moving away, if they take their lives somewhere else, they can decimate that entire area because they're the backbone of it. The rich people are the backbone of that fucking wherever you are. It's not the working class, like the fucking news says.
Well, I mean, the working class is the backbone because the
working class are the fingers and toes, bro.
The working class are the people who open the stores, who close the stores, who do the work. They're the face of the company.
They're the fingers and toes.
The difference between working class and quote unquote rich people is that rich people have learned how to become owners and how to run businesses and how to tell other people what to do. They learn how to maximize a situation, or come up off of a situation, as opposed to just work hard and get what would be considered the equivalent of your work ethic. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, so I gotta save myself from a contradiction real quick, because in this image right here, these trees are fucked. Look at them; those trees are fucked. They ain't no bushes.
Well, I mean, you have pictures that exist where people have images that show palm trees intact.
Yeah, right next to their house.
Yeah, so there's a lot of questionable things as to how that could happen.
And you know what? They've been caught using pictures from other disasters to current ones. You know what I'm saying? They've been caught doing that before.
Right.
Somebody proved that. I remember
right,
that.
And that's a possible thing that's happening with this. But
highly possible.
I know when I first seen this on the news, I was sitting with my mom, and my mom pointed out, she was like, "Wow, look at this, a wrought iron fence on fire." And I said to her, I was like, "Mom, when you ever seen a wrought iron fence or any type of metal for that matter just on fire independently?" You know what I'm saying?
Crazy, man.
So clearly this is some different type of fire, some different type of heat. To see the kind of damage that we're seeing is like almost like some thermite, or something that was used to as an accelerant to make the fire go real fast and real hot. You know what I'm saying?
These buildings look like Harrenhal, dog, and Harrenhal melted.
Across the county, over 10,000 buildings destroyed, and the number of dead rising.
Everything that we know and love is gone. Not just this house, my whole city gone, man. The whole thing, like everything, my whole neighborhood, everything that I grew up to love and know is burnt up.
The Kenneth Fire erupting in the San Fernando Valley, forcing evacuations in the West Hills neighborhood.
We are expecting this fire to rapidly spread due to high winds.
All of the major wildfires are in a roughly 25-mile band north of downtown LA. The Palisades and Eaton fires, the largest, over 9,000 homes, businesses, and other buildings are damaged or destroyed. Early estimates predict $57 billion in damages.
Look at this shit!
The Palisades fire still raging overnight after scorching over 19,000 acres, an area the size of Manhattan. Dozens of blocks.
Hold up, man. Hold up. Look at this picture right here. Look at this shit. This is happening here, man.
All right. the question will eventually become how much of this damage is due to ineptitude. You know, we just seen the segment earlier about how
oh, they put it on the list, didn't they?
You know, the fire chief is more concerned with doing fallacious activities than, you know, showing her her skill set in terms of being able to do her job or being able to do what is required of actual firefighters. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when we see, you know, the lack of water, lack of resources, lack of planning, lack of strategy, lack of integrity, you know, it brings everything into question, and that how much of this damage that we see is a result of ineptitude or at least perceived ineptitude, because there could be some playing dumb going on here. You know what I'm saying? You know, to intentionally let carnage and chaos happen, and that's what I'm willing to purchase. You know, if I had to choose, I had to make a choice as to which I really think which one it is. You know, I would have to purchase the idea that this is intentionally done and made to look like fake ineptitude. You know, and
this is
a
in my
lot of
top
time.
5.
Well, to answer that question, I think that because of what we're seeing, this is quite possibly the biggest story that we've seen since I would say in the past 6 months. You know, this is big. This is bigger than, literally bigger than anything that we've seen so far.
This is
You
bigger
know,
than Trump almost getting shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Because see, the
This
thing
is
is
bigger
this.
than November 7th.
The reason why it's bigger than this is because just like how we saw that brother say that he lost everything that he know and his whole neighborhood was burnt up.
Yeah.
Everybody in that neighborhood will have a story and to be able to say what happened or where they were. This is like a 9/11 type of event because people will be saying to themselves in the future, where were you when the fires in LA broke out?
Yo, I think there's a lot of people in the country. Wait a minute.
Especially, I was going to just say real quick, especially in that area, that, you know, people will be saying to themselves, well, where were you when the fires broke out? Oh man, you know, my dog died, or I was stuck in traffic. You know, I was at the zoo, or you know what I'm saying?
Yo, a lot of people I'm talking to, when I tell them about these colossal stories and try to get them a scope of what's going on off the world, they blow it off like it's no big deal, like it's just, you know, another day, another story. No, it's not. This is what's happening right now. Is nobody alive has lived through stuff like this, unless if you're 20 years old, if you're 22 right now, 25, you don't know nothing but chaos. You were born while Trayvon Martin and 9/11 and all that shit was popping off. So you were born in the chaos era. Not that there hasn't always been chaos on Earth, but these last 4 years, you know, we got the internet now, so you can pack a lot of chaos in quick all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Nothing like this has ever happened before.
Well, I think the question really arises from this is how desensitized are we? You know, recently we had a conversation about how much things have happened in the past 6 months that have been really crazy, things that people will talk about for years to come.
We've had 100 years of news in 1 year.
Right, and as those things happen, it's like we just jump from one hurdle to the next as a people. So, and the question comes up is how desensitized are we to these type of things? Like remember that scene on in the Dark Knight when Joker was talking to Two-Face, and he was like, you know, when a gangbanger gets shot, nobody cares.
Right.
But if somebody threatens to kill a mayor, everybody loses their mind because certain things we expect to happen. So right now, when we think about natural disasters, right, we've had all of us have had a lifetime of either knowing about a natural disaster, hearing about it, or unfortunately being in the middle of it. So a natural disaster, how impactful is that on the scale of events? Like some people will hear, like you can see breaking news about an earthquake, a tornado, a hurricane, and some people will say, okay, yeah, whatever, what else is new? So, all right, in terms of what is more popular, right? It really depends on the temperament of the people. Like now, like earlier, like how you said about Trump being the attempted assassination on Trump. That's big news. That's actually global news. So people was talking about that shit all around the world. But the question is this: as a people, as the human family, how desensitized are we as the human family? Will this story be talked about around the world?
Yo, my man in
You know
the
what I'm
chat
saying?
called this the chaos era.
Well, I mean, because you think
I
about
the
the
whole
calamities.
called chaos.
Think about where calamities strike in other parts of the world. Do people express interest, particularly in our country, when we hear that millions of people are being slaughtered, in the Congo, or an earthquake happens in Japan, and things of this nature? How affected are we by these things? And in contrast, how affected is the rest of the world by calamities that happen in America? I would suggest that some people will probably be happy that things are happening to us.
No, they report our stuff, especially Britain.
No.
Great Britain does a good job of reporting on American news and politics, and so does
Like,
Australia.
remember,
Australian news covers a lot of U.S. shit.
Now look, you remember when there was the 9/11, the thing about the dancing Israelis, and they were showing out like the Arab countries and Jewish countries, right? I guess we can say that. These people were dancing and cheering that America got attacked.
That shit was crazy.
So I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere on this planet that they got news that Los Angeles is burning to hell, and they probably high-fiving and saying, yeah, that's what America get.
Maybe people in Gaza are dancing. They know that America's giving Israel all that. Well, they're not. We ain't gonna get into that. That shit, they'll stop that shit right in the middle of this stream. Matter of fact, we'll play some more of this video. Fuck that.
But that's a real
Lots
statement.
flattened to smoldering
Yeah, it
rubble.
is.
Only the
Real as
outlines of homes remain. Residents in Altadena who came back to inspect what was once their neighborhood, shocked.
So
As you can see, there's nothing left, and
I like looking at
residents
images.
in Altadena, smoldering rubble. Only the outlines of homes remain.
I don't know, man. Fire damage to you, or does it look like bombs and just falling?
Bombs will have things scattered all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And
Nigga,
that could be
look at this fucking picture. Look at this bent metal and all this other shit. Fire don't bend metal. Come on, man. These buildings
I mean,
explosions,
don't bend metal either. They eviscerate it. You know what I'm saying? So you would
Residents
see
in
like little
Altadena
pieces.
who came back to inspect what was.
bro. So, what about this image right here? This looks like fire damage, right?
Now, the
this
question
wall
would be
right
this.
here doesn't look.
All right, now we do know what we do know about fire is that fire is used to melt. Like fire is used to melt and manipulate the structural composition of steel. In other words, you can heat up metal to bend it, right? So after it cools, right, it solidifies. So we could be seeing is bent metal from excessive heat, exposure. You know what I'm saying?
I will take you to the 9/11 documentary. Never mind. No, I ain't gonna get into what I mean. Fire, burning metal, and
well, one thing that we do know is one thing that we do know, just to touch on that, is that fuel burns at 500 degrees, and it takes 2,000 degrees to bend and manipulate steel. And large fires can get up to well over 2,000 degrees. So we do know that.
Look at this aerial picture right here. This is one of the pictures that has all of the trees in it. You see what I'm saying? All the trees are in this picture. That's crazy. I can't believe this happened, man. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying that a forest fire spread over this flat ass block right here with no forest. There's no forest here to maintain a fire. Look, this is a city, nigga. There's no tall forest here to maintain a fire to burn all this shit down. It's like what did the fire do? Crawl across the air and
earlier in the video, the guy suggested that nobody was doing any independent burning or arson, you know, in that particular region. Now, I can't confirm or deny that because I'm not over there. However, there are several people who are making claims and even sharing videos of people throwing gasoline in the road and behind people's houses in hopes that will catch fire and, you know, keep the fire going. You know, several people have been locked up for and been charged with arson, you know, in this. So somewhere in that region that they said is basically the size of a whole city, somebody in that city is starting fires.
Yo, you want to holler at Citizen Man? You want to give him a play?
I'll give anybody a play.
He live right now. I'm gonna give him a play. Yo, see what he's talking about. Hold on.
You know, if they ask him if we can merge, can we merge the streams? Is that possible?
I don't think he drops the link anymore. We can communicate with him in the chat, but we can't join his stream and nothing. I'm gonna send him an email. I'm gonna send him an email and tell him to come on the channel with us one day.
You should be able to merge streams and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like I'm streaming, you streaming. Let's click the merge this shit and do it together.
I don't know if he's ever done that.
Listen, that's coming down the pike. That's a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna pause this video right here. I'm gonna go to Citizen Man real quick, see what he's talking about. Hold on a second.
Half the city's freaking down. Emergency response. The emergency response are melted and warped, but looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 80s. See that face, that smile right there? That's that disingenuous. Like when the cops are looking to arrest you and shit, and they start asking you a bunch of questions, and they try to play good cop, bad cop, but they both have the same intention to lock your ass up. That's the fake good cop face right there. And this one, she looks genuinely happy to be there. Like, I made it. And this one, I don't know what the fuck her deal is, but you notice she's the only one actually wearing a female uniform. That's that tie. That's the female uniform.
That's true.
And that tie, that's a male uniform, and that's a male uniform.
That's a fact.
Well, one thing is this.
So these people are obviously a disgrace.
When you looking at these images right here,
unqualified, disgraceful people.
Exactly.
In unqualified control positions.
You know how long it takes to become to get to that level in that career in that industry.
One of the top priorities of the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power is enhancing DEI.
What?
And it was the same thing for the fire department. All the California or Los Angeles government departments were all about DEI rather than doing their damn job.
Can you
board priorities, enhancing.
The thing is that, you know, a lot of people out there will be like, well, why are these people talking about DEI? Why do they keep saying this, right? And the thing is this. Some places in the world, DEI is tolerable, right? It's okay. You know what I'm saying? There's certain places in the world where it's not cool. You know, in this particular, field that we're talking about, being a firefighter, a lot of the, those fire chiefs, I don't know exactly what they're called, but when you get to that status at which these women are, sometimes it takes 20, 30 years to get to that position. You know what I'm saying? So these people who wear those official jackets and medals and things of that nature, those things are not taken lightly. It's like you really got to put work in for years. Like when a firefighter, right? A firefighter coming in is like a rookie. Right. And you see how they treat rookies on the team. That sometimes the rookie is not allowed to sit on the bench. They got to stand. Sometimes they make the rookie buy everybody, pay for everybody's meal at the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So like the rookie has to come up through the ranks and go through the process. You know what I'm saying? So to get to that status, It takes years and years of you putting work in, putting your life on the line, you know, being recognized for, you know, saving people and doing different things and excelling in your field to reach that status. So when you got people who, so one day they just come up and say, you know what, we just want to circumvent people and just weave them in at the top. That's a slap in the face to people who really put their life on the line for 20, 30 years, yo. And so we have to understand the magnitude of what the fuck is being done. And when you're talking about putting people at risk, putting whole cities at risk, this is why these people are talking about DEI like this. So don't get this misconstrued with some like red pill, misogynistic, hating women and don't want women to excel type shit. It's like when you stepping in a certain field,
it ain't about women, it's about gays and fat people too, and white and black.
When you
This shit
so
is
when
not
you
okay. DEI is not okay anywhere in any situation in humanity. No way.
And
It's not okay at all. You got to be qualified to do something else. It ain't gonna be done the fuck right.
Right.
Diversity,
Exactly.
equity,
That's
and
fire,
inclusion.
man.
Not enhancing performance by hiring qualified people. No. Oh, no. Not at all. So here's some of the scenes from the Palisades fires. And as you can see, there's still leaves on the trees. Look at that one.
I was
still
saying.
leaves on the trees. Still leaves on the trees. Some of the trees that were close enough to the houses burnt down, but most of them are still there.
The trash can's still there.
And look at that. The iconic blue item untouched. Here's another one.
Trash can.
House burnt completely down. I believe that's the door frame where the garage door used to be. Everything is burnt to a crisp. Look at that. Blue trash cans untouched.
Nigga, I told you.
This one looks a little melted and warped, but
Is it
unburnt.
possible that they mind fucking this? Somebody come up there and put the blue trash can and then take a picture.
Here you go again with the blue trash cans untouched.
It could be this could be a
Hollywood
mind fuck.
stars whose homes have burned to the ground as devastating LA wildfires destroy California. John Goodman's house. This is Miles Teller's house. That's what it used to look like. That's what's there now. Anthony Hopkins, his house is gone.
Anthony Hopkins.
And I believe a lot of these celebrities are on the get more risk.
You know where Anthony Hopkins is,
I got a question.
You know who that is, right?
Yeah, that's Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, that's
have
great.
been removed.
But look, I got a question. Now in regards to the blue trash cans and the things that we've seen in Maui, right? So we've seen after the events of Maui, we've seen all around the world, particularly in Asian countries, right? Asian, because you can't say the O word. That's a bad word now. So you've seen that these people specifically took the time to put blue paint on the top of their roofs and their infrastructure all over the cities in these countries.
I wonder
right?
he probably getting ready to say something about this blue.
And yeah, we might, bright minds think alike. Shout out to Citizens, man. But the thing is that I just wanted to say that while we looking at these things, all right, we see a blue trash can, and the one thing I do want to say is that it's possible that could be a mind fuck because we got AI out here, we got video editing software. Somebody could literally take these pictures and just crop a blue trash can in there. Because all right, we had to consider the possibility that all right, if the blue we are like for the people who don't fully understand about what is the significance of this color blue, with the direct energy weapons, right, that are alleged to be used in Maui and possibly here. One of the things that they said is that the blue color is basically reflective of this energy weapon, which will prevent the igniting or the combustion or however it is these fires start. So other different colors other than blue, it burns immediately. But when it shines over this blue color, it actually skips over it. So if that's the case, right? And with the things that we saw, look, let's say this real quick.
1,000 degrees is 1,000. If it's a house on fire, right? The trash can in front of that house is going to be damaged. It's plastic.
Right. Right.
It's gonna
That's
melt.
a good point. That's a good point. And so, and you know, because we just looking at this and
The
being
wheels,
unbiased.
the wheels would like, you know what I mean? The
Right.
wheels would melt before the can itself.
Right. So, and then after it's burning, it ain't gonna be blue no more anyway. So that's a good point. So, so all
Those
right, when we
trash
looking
cans
at
were
so we,
spanking brand new out of Home Depot, my nigga.
so when we looking at this scorch exactly when we look at the scorched earth, you know,
And they were
here,
recycling.
right?
Whoa. Watch this. What do you think about this idea? Nigga, those blue cans are recycling cans. Think about that. That could be a symbol like they're recycling that whole fucking neighborhood.
Right. It's very possible that the people who took those
They ain't
pictures
trash
could have put those blue trash cans there.
They
But
ain't
I
trash
wanted to,
cans.
I just wanted to close with this is that the point I was trying to make is that we with the whole blue energy, you know, weapon theory, you know, and I hate to say it like that, but we just being unbiased. So we should see at least some places where roofs or something that was blue wasn't burned, at least to the extent of everything else, right?
Well, let's keep
you know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, once a fire is started, then it would burn things indiscriminately. So, you know, there is possible that we should see some things that would be basically untouched because it's blue. It's possible.
We might.
It's possible.
Very interesting to see. So we're just over an hour in. Nobody's hit the Cash App yet, but that's all right. We'll keep pushing. Charlie Kirk says we're going to go to the footage now. The footage from the Palisades fire in Los Angeles is insane. Clears and first responders putting their lives on the line tonight. And just so you guys are aware, the fires, in these fires, a lot of people did not make it out of their homes.
Wow.
Now that would skew the death toll that we heard because they saying
Keeps
11.
claiming that over 30,000 people evacuated, but nobody knows where these evacuees have gone to.
Good point.
The news keeps claiming a low death toll, but nobody really knows the true death toll. But what we do know is the way to know if somebody was home, you look for a car in the driveway. If there's no car in the driveway, they probably weren't home. But if there's a car in the driveway, they were probably home. And if you look at the pictures and the footage real close and you look at how many cars are in the driveways, these are entire families that got incinerated. They couldn't get out and they got incinerated.
Yo,
thousands.
This nigga is about to get my motherfucking channel removed, yo.
Well, I mean, because he's starting to reach into uncharted territory.
I don't want to fuck this up. I want to see where he goes.
But
you might spoil it.
But I'm not jumping to no conclusions, you know. But you know, I'm following along, just saying that you know.
This ain't a bad theory right here.
Yeah,
right.
You know, but But when he's finished, I do have some things that I would like to retort in response to what he's saying.
I wonder if y'all gonna say the same shit, yo.
Well, I want let's
go first. Go first.
Well, I was going to say one thing, but since you said that, now I'm kind of like I want to hold on to that. So I want to retort. I just want to retort.
I'm curious as fuck, yo, because I'm thinking some shit too.
Tens of thousands of people were eliminated.
Damn!
Entire communities gone. Wiped out.
Yo, are you serious, my nigga? So look. So I don't know how late you trying to stay up, yo, but it's a lot of videos on Rumble saying that they did this before with like cleaned a lot of people out to reset the information. They're saying that it happened like 300 years ago. Well, they literally wiped out a whole bunch of people and then re-educated everybody else.
Well, the point that I was going to make now, I don't know if he's going to get to this, but I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. So it's basically adding to what he's saying. I can't approve or disapprove or whatever. I can't confirm or deny what he's saying. What he's saying is true. But however, just to kind of piggyback or veggie back, because we don't eat pork, the veggie back, this what he's saying is usually when you have I guess you consider a mass exodus of people like this, they have like vantage points and waypoints set up in your news, for sense of purposes, they'll tell you, where to go. You know what I'm saying? Or where, people might be looking to see where their loved ones at. So they'll say, well, these people who left here, they're going to seek refuge. Like, all right.
And watch this.
And it's very easy.
Watch this. The Hollywood motherfuckers made it out of there. Same way a certain group of people made it out of the towers. You feel me?
But now, all right, they're not going. The Hollywood people, right? They're not going to go to some center where everybody's going to be at.
But they made it out alive. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, but they're going to retreat. They're like the elite type people. They're going to retreat. They're going to retreat to other homes, other places of that nature. Yeah. But when you're talking about mass exodus of people who mass evacuation, and these people had to just up and leave. Usually they will set up a place for those people to go. Like, all right, like when Hurricane Katrina happened, they told people to go to the Superdome or whatever that shit is called.
They kind of know these people got somewhere to go. They all got money. They kind of know that.
But this is still an emergency. So it's like you don't take a shot in the dark and just make assumptions to say, oh yeah, those people, they
all them gyms and all that kind of shit they had is probably burned to the ground too.
When you got thousands, when you have thousands of people leaving a danger zone, there's usually several places that are set up where people can take refuge at, and they will tell you where to go and where these places are located. You have neighboring cities and even neighboring states that will accommodate people, and they will say, "Well,
set up, yo. How you know they don't?"
But and that's what I'm saying. We haven't gotten to that point yet. So I'm just pointing out that we haven't heard anything like that so far. So what we have heard is that they told us. Now look, I'm just saying.
Work all day. I don't know.
He's made a statement that has some validity to it. I hate to say that, but because we never want to wish harmful things on people.
We'll find out because we'll find out.
So like if they telling us that this an area the size of Brooklyn has burnt up every square inch and only 11 people were killed, that, as crazy as that sounds, that's a blessing, because it's like nobody wants to root for loss of life. Nobody wants to see somebody killed. Nobody wants to see dead babies or burnt up people and shit. Nobody wants to see those things. So if only 11 people died, that's a blessing. However, when you're talking about this area the size of a city, and you're talking about thousands, even millions of people trying to leave the city, right? It's quite possible that those people were stuck where they was at. Like, all right, we saw earlier in the show, we talked about cars being jammed on the highway, and they have to move bulldozers to clear the highways. So, all right, when you see cars in the driveway, it might have been a situation where people literally had to just pick up and run because they couldn't. Where was they going to drive to if the streets is blocked up?
Let's see what we find out.
Now remember, and this is the thing about, we scour media for jewels, and content. So in the Obama movie, right? One of the things that they were showing is that these self-driven cars were driving to the highways and intentionally blocking up the highways. They were showing how like this was like a fire sale type of data breach hack, and these people hacked these selfless driving cars and intentionally blocked up the highways so these people couldn't escape on the highway. So who knows? For all we know, that it could have been intentionally blocked. The highways could have been intentionally blocked for people not to be able to get out. So there is as crazy as it sounds, it is possible that what he's saying very well did happen. But I'm not encouraging that. I
I wouldn't be
hope that
surprised
didn't
if the
happen.
news tomorrow morning said some of that shit.
Easy
Yeah,
to
but
pass these dead
you know,
people off as evacuees who somehow disappeared into the remaining parts of California and civilized parts of the United States. And have their friends and family lose contact with them. It's very easy to pass that off as true, but the fact of the matter is it's not true. These people were murdered in their homes, just like in Lahaina. Now, I have to go full screen, unfortunately, for this segment with the videos, because the videos are pretty small. They're from my Instagram page. I just kind of compiled a list of them that we can go over.
Man, he put a list together.
Go back to the beginning.
This is gonna be good. This cat is a
There we go.
I'm telling you.
I'll turn the sound on in a second.
Let me pause this shit. Look what he got right here. He got North Carolina, Hawaii, and this is exactly how I was going to do the thumbnail. I got all these disaster pictures saved, even Ukraine and Gaza and the other place Israel bombed. I had all these. I was gonna compile them just like this. This like minds, man, like minds.
But just take a look at this. Take a look at this. Los Angeles, Hawaii, North Carolina. They're destroying strategic parts of the United States that they've sold out to foreign corporations. And these foreign corporations have their own intentions for the land, and they're going to use that land and clear that. They're going to clear that land and use that land, regardless of what the people who live there have to say.
Damn.
And this is exactly what we're seeing. This is not climate change. This is not gross incompetence. This is not anything they're trying to make it out to be in the media. Even with Fox News, they're trying to play it off and make it seem like it's just gross incompetence and a tragedy, but it's not. It's mass murder, and we need to start calling it that. But unfortunately, for people like Trump and other high-profile Republicans, they can't just come out and say mass murder, because then the media is going to say, "Oh, Trump is blaming he's a climate change denier and a science denier. He's blaming his political enemies for an obvious act of nature and blah, 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 blah." And they'll retrain America to hate Trump all over again. So I understand why he's got to kind of play ball with the narrative, but we know what time it is, and I hope to see heads roll here in the near future. So let's go ahead and get into this. I got to turn this down.
I got a question. Can I interject, please?
What about?
LA Times revealed.
I want to ask that if this is a mass cancellation of subscriptions, right? If a lot of people got deleted or compromised, you know what I mean?
Yo, we way past talking careful in the video, dog. You heard what this nigga said.
But listen, all right, okay, but all right. So the thing is,
killed.
If these people can't be accounted for, right? Right. How will we explain these people being missing? So it's like, all right, okay, fire happens, people, let's say a lot of these people got burnt up.
They're gonna be missing until their bones are found.
Right, but they're gonna be missing until their bones are found. But if they're trying to scrub, and this is the thing I'm trying to point out here, if they try to scrub this, right, and they trying to like downplay how many people actually died, because that's what he's saying. He's alluding to a possibility that thousands of people are dead, and they're lying about it. But this is not a different country. This is not Ukraine, where you can tell us
to cover up without somebody leaking out something like their family.
Right, like this, right. So like in Ukraine, they're telling us these buildings is getting blown up. Like damn near every building in Ukraine has been blown to smithereens, and they be telling us like 2 people died one person died. And it's like, all right, so they took out a whole building and only 2 people died. That sounds kind of far-fetched. And for all intents and purposes, it sounds far-fetched that that an area the size of a city burned up and only 11 people died. That does sound sus, you know. And it's sad to say that because, again, nobody wants to see casualties. You know, at least I don't. We don't.
So
So
Pacific Palisades Reservoir was empty and not available for use when the firestorm began. So this right here is a picture of
This is an emptied out water reservoir, bro.
But look, I just wanted to say
this shit.
How will you explain people missing if they're dead? And because if you don't want us to know that they got burnt up in the fire, then if you find these bodies in these homes burnt up, right? And they're trying to suppress how many people died, then you would have to scrub that. You would have to not release that to the public. And only a whistleblower will be able to say, "Hey, we found all these people burnt up in the homes."
We're gonna have to wait and see.
But then you would have
this motherfucker.
You're gonna have family members, right? But look, you're gonna have family members, just like in 9/11. You have family members looking for their family. Like, yo, I haven't seen my cousin who lived in that area since the fire. And y'all said they evacuated. What happened?
4 days
Where did he
old too,
go?
right? This is 4 days old, 3 days old.
Right. So you have
Somebody
people
would have said something by now. So I mean, like if it was thousands of people dead, you would have heard something about it. It should have been shit all over. It would have been shit all over TikTok, Instagram,
of the empty reservoir.
Think of.
And this is the Pacific Palisades Reservoir specifically. So they drained all the water out of the reservoir, and whatever water was left in the plumbing systems, they went ahead and shut that off too.
Yep. That's why they got low water pressure.
Burn.
That's why they got low water pressure. That's why you've seen the firefighters throwing buckets of water.
Story, Jeremy, but
yo, what this nigga put? What kind of shirt is
yes.
Did you peep that?
You see what's happening here? You guys see what's happening here, right? So this guy is kind of minding this fire, and there's a police vehicle right there. And there's wildfires happening. Half the city's freaking burning down. Emergency response, the emergency response units are stretched thin. And for some reason, this cop is just allowing this fire to burn.
I mean, he is a cop, though.
This looks to me like they were under orders to let this shit happen. It ain't. This is not incompetence. This is deliberate. Let's go to the next. Oh, now this has absolutely nothing to do with the Palisades fire, but this has to do with Jimmy Carter's funeral. And this goes to my point that this is old footage, and what we're being shown pertaining to the executive politics, let's just say, is all a show. Wow. And this, to me, proves it. This is your sign to indicate that Jimmy Carter's funeral was a big show. The pastor at Jimmy Carter's viewing recites the Meet the Parents prayer. The prayer from a movie. Let me see if I can start it over. Let's get the sound.
Just to know you more clearly, to love you more dearly, and to follow you more nearly each day.
To love thee more dearly, to see thee more clearly, to follow thee more nearly, day by day. By day. Amen.
Amen.
You see that? Straight out of the movie. Because
where
you're
did
being
they get it from?
Fooled. You're being duped. This is not happening currently. This is old footage, and it's completely staged.
Wow.
And the movie line is to let you know what's Cuban telling us this whole time. You are watching a movie. That's what this is about. But let's get back to the fires. So who remembers this lady's name right here? I used to know her name and I cannot remember her name. And I didn't look in the comments to see if it was written there. But she used to be on Alex Jones' show all the time.
Oh.
I don't know if anybody remembers her name, but let's listen to what she says. And this is an old video. This is an old video. Look at this. Published February 28th, 2018.
Man, that's 6 years.
And we're now in 2025, and everything she's saying
That looked like the lady
is
that
true.
was on Jesse Ventura.
Plan to
too.
burn up Northern California disclosed. So let's go.
Let's hear her
go
voice.
back.
Because if I hear her voice, then I know.
Go over some of the things that I heard in this meeting. It's very diabolical. All the perpetrators of this event are here. They're building up from a planned disaster by the use of directed energy weapons, which you can hear that interview in full by Googling the plan to burn up Northern California. And of course,
this is on your site, stopthecrime.net.
Yes, and I am, of course, M. Deborah Taveras, and I do run the website stopthecrime.net, where you can find that plan to burn up Northern California as well. But the agenda here today by the perpetrators here in Northern California was to, again, discuss the community warning program, preparing for a more resilient county. Now, for many of you, I've reported on resilient cities. I would recommend that you go to the YouTube Kill.
And what she means by resilient cities is the smart cities thing. That was just a different term that they used back then. And this video, I believe 2018 was when the camp fires up in Northern California happened, where they burned up all those conservative districts, and they claimed 50,000 people evacuated when really 50,000 people, including school buses full of children, were incinerated.
Cities by Rothschild and Rockefeller to understand what resilient planning is all about in your town.
Wow.
This is happening here in Sonoma County, but it's an extension of UN Agenda 21 policies, and go over some of the things that I...
And UN Agenda 21 is actually now UN Agenda 2030.
Because they've been fucking up.
Yeah.
And we've been pushing back. We've been pushing back. Raising fucking glass
Deborah
for the resistance.
I don't remember
You know what
her
I mean?
name. Does anybody remember her name?
Fuck y'all.
He's slipping, yo. He keeps saying, "Does anybody remember her name?" She just said her name.
Now look,
Deborah
this lady, look, this lady, she was on the show with Jesse the Body Ventura when he used to have his show. Yeah, he had his show on what was it, the USA Network or something. Now, if you remember Jesse the Body Ventura when he used to be on wrestling and shit, right? He was a commentator for a little while towards the end of his career. And he used to be against the establishment that existed within the WWF at that time, but you know, the WWE for extensive purposes. But you know, basically he would be beefing with Vince McMahon and the establishment, and he would be calling out conspiracy, and he would be saying, you know, this is the plot, you know, the conspiracy, the McMahon and you know, the establishment, you know, they in cahoots, and you know, he crying foul. He was basically a whistleblower within the World Wrestling Federation, right? So is it just a coincidence? Now after that, he went on to become, I think, a governor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he became a governor. He was
Minnesota.
a governor for a little bit, right? Of Minnesota. So then after that, he became this whistleblower on politics. So he was a whistleblower. He was a whistleblower in wrestling, and then he became a whistleblower in politics. And he had that same woman on his show, and she was saying that she was leaving the country because they was going to do a pandemic here, and or rather a plandemic, and you know, they was going to force people to get installations, you know, we're going to say, and you know, all these different kind of things, and she was getting out of here. You know, that's where I remember that lady from. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Now, I don't know. I don't know where this
We gotta
video
deal
was
with it.
shot at. I don't
This
know
one
where
right
it
here
was
is from
shot at, but
2018.
yeah. Now, is that in America? Did she come back to America? Because he said she was leaving in 2008.
This is Gavin Newscomb calls Biden to tackle nation dividing nation to tackle. So Gavin Newsom is on a call with the Biden character, telling him that we need to start censoring people, basically, who are exposing what's really happening here.
Shit, I've been censored like a motherfucker, man.
So let's run this video back. Let's start from the top. And most of these I haven't watched in full yet. So
All the perpetrators of this.
I ask you, we've got to deal with this misinformation. Where hurricane force winds of mis and disinformation lies. People want to divide this country, and we're going to have to address that as well. And it breaks my heart as people are suffering and struggling that we're up against those hurricane forces as well. And that's just a point of personal privilege that I share that with you, because it infects real people that are out there, people I meet every single day, people the mayor's been meeting with, and they're having conversations that are not the typical conversations you'd have at this time. And you wonder where this stuff comes from. And it's very damaging as well. But we're here to get the job done. I ask you.
yes, JDMX over on Rumble. Deborah Tavares, that's her name. That's her name.
Yeah.
Deborah Tavares. Yep. I think that's her. I think that's it. That rings a bell. Yeah. Calla Calhoun. It was the campfires first, then it was the Paradise Fires, and now Palisades.
Damn.
When the Israelis jail 9 soldiers.
Oh, these pertain to what's happening in Israel, but I'll save those for another show.
Thank you.
Drone footage shows the devastating aftermath of the LA fires, which have destroyed thousands of homes. So this is just another image of the destruction there. Now, here is Fox News dropping the ball and playing into the, just like I was saying, playing into the DEI narrative that it was that it's DEI to blame and not a deliberate act. So let me get the sound on.
That DEI shit is bullshit. Got nothing to do with this.
Mismanagement.
All right, here we go.
This is just incredible mismanagement. Incredible. Negligent.
Now, criminal is probably as close to any mainstream media has gotten to saying that this is a deliberate terrorist act. So they're downplaying the gravity of the actual situation. And his name is Zachary Levi.
Wow.
Because I mean, Gavin Newsom has been either the governor for 5 years or lieutenant governor prior to that for 8-9 years. Some of the worst fires we've ever had in California under that watch. He clearly knows that the biggest problem that we suffer in California are these fires. And by the way, the mudslides that follow. And for them to do essentially not just nothing, but worse than nothing, when firefighter budgets are being cut, when they are specifically intentionally not doing the work that could be done to avoid.
And what's crazy to me is how they always cut. Oh, shit. How they always cut the firefighters' budgets. They're always cutting the budget for this and cutting the budget for that in these democratic cities. But for some reason, they could never find the will to cut the taxes that fund that budget. You guys ever find that strange? Well, let me go back to the video.
This is just incredible mismanagement, incredibly poor leadership. I would go so far as to say that it's criminally negligent, because, I mean, Gavin Newsom has been either the governor for 5 years or lieutenant governor prior to that for 8-9 years. Some of the worst fires we've ever had in California under that watch. He clearly knows that the biggest problem that we suffer in California are these fires. And by the way, the mudslides that follow. And for them to do essentially, specifically, intentionally not doing the work that could be done to avoid these problems or to be able to effectively serve them when they are happening, we are losing. I mean, I think it's something like millions of acres of feet of water runoff from rain and snow every year in California. As you pointed out, I think the smelt have something to do with that. That's an acre foot of water, by the way, is about 330,000 gallons of water. And there's millions of those that are just rolling off into the ocean when they could be captured.
And if you don't know how to visualize an acre foot, think about an acre of land under 1 foot of water. That's an acre foot. That's a lot of water.
And cisterns. They could be, we'd have an ecosystem of hoses and safety measures that can keep all of these homes and people in these homes safe. And for some reason, they choose to do none of that. And at some point, it goes beyond just whoopsie. At some point, it goes beyond negligence. There's something that's almost criminally intentional about this. Like, what are they doing? I don't know.
I'm glad he said that. He redeemed himself with that. Criminally intentional. Because it was pre-planned. You got the insurance companies dropping people's coverages. You got them cutting off the water and diverting the water. You got them cutting the fire department budget, and putting these incompetent buffoons in the command and control positions. In JDMX, it's silent weapons for quiet wars.
You mentioned criminal intent and you mentioned criminal negligence, because California can build anything. I mean, look at Silicon Valley, look at Hollywood. If they want to do something, California can do it. But you haven't built a single reservoir in 10 years? You're just letting water run into the Pacific because of what? A fish that no one's heard of? Does anybody care about the smelt fish?
I mean, listen.
And that's the thing that they're saying about why they can't use certain water sources, because the smelt fish is an endangered species. But the thing is that
they'd rather burn thousands of acres of land rather than just let the fish go.
It's not even from there.
I don't know. That's. But again, these are just lame excuses that they're coming up with in California to explain away or justify this domestic terrorist attack and make it seem like it's a tragic accident.
He's wilding with some of the words he uses.
Again, failure of leadership. It's not a failure of leadership. It's evil leadership. It's mass murder committed by the leadership. Pre-planned, premeditated mass murder.
Wow.
And not only by the leadership, the corporations too. Because who tipped off the insurance companies to drop people's insurance coverage?
I think we can care about the smelt fish and we can care about our environment and also be able to value human life and the wonderful cities and civilizations that we have built and find some kind of a balance in all of that. Even still with the smelts, there's no reason why we couldn't have safeguards to prevent what is going on right now. This is just, it's absurd. But I would say at the end of the day, you know, like I said, I don't know if there's criminal intent. I have no idea why they are doing or not doing the things that they are doing, but
we know why, Zachary Levi. So you can play it off all you want, like you don't know, you know, because we know. And if you're more qualified than us, and you're so special that Fox News wants to put you on TV, you should be telling the public why, because you freaking know why.
But they must be held responsible. This is not leadership. I mean, listen, you
can't hold them responsible if you don't know why. Because if you don't know why they're doing it, then you won't know whether it was criminal intent or if it was an accident.
This is the man who, in the middle of the pandemic, when people were being locked up for going and gathering together, he was at French Laundry having dinner with his friends. What does that say about the character of this man who is doing nothing to help the people of California? I don't believe that he is. I don't believe that he is. And so I think that there needs to be some kind of, accountability that's held to the leadership, not just of California, but also of our nation. You know, I mean, listen, there are people still in Eastern North Carolina that are still climbing out of the rubble of the hurricane that totally ravaged all of them in Florida and North Carolina and South Carolina. That's still happening, and FEMA completely dropping the ball there. What's going to happen now with Southern California? Is FEMA going to be there? By the way, one of the things that is almost most
See, and there he goes again, playing into the narrative. FEMA dropping the ball. They're not dropping the ball. And I wish these conservatives or these so-called conservatives would just come right out and say it. They're not dropping the ball. This is not. I mean, they're very, very sure when they talk about Biden sending money to Ukraine, about Biden opening the borders and letting all the illegals in as intentionally wanting to destroy America. So why won't they come out and say that this mass murder operation was intentional? If I had my guess, I would say it's probably out of fear. Because if they would burn down an entire community just to build some apartments and an Olympic stadium, they would burn down an entire community to silence people who are telling the truth. I mean, shit, they've taken down entire planes to get rid of politicians. But let's continue.
most criminal in all of this, I don't know if you know this, but like 70% or so of the insured in Southern California that used to have fire insurance in their home months ago, this insurance was taken away.
Wow.
The insurance company said, no, we're not going to offer fire insurance anymore. What else do they need? They don't need flood insurance. They need fire insurance. This is a fire hazard. Of course, that's the insurance that they need and that they want. And just months ago, this was stripped from people. Like this is not okay. It is not okay in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I'm hearing that State Farm yanked their coverage because the regulators in California wouldn't let them raise rates. So now millions of people don't have fire insurance and they've lost their homes and have nothing. Shit. And you're right. You mentioned North Carolina. Remember the Maui fires? Still devastation.
Yeah, Lahaina.
And they were staying in 5-star luxury resorts, FEMA was. So we expect more, we expect better, we expect dignity and competence in the United States of America. That's not too much to ask. I know there's been a recall in California, but there might have to be something else to hold Gavin Newsom accountable. A trial, a public humiliation, because if this isn't enough to step down as governor, if you have a little honor, I think that's what it calls for.
This is just incredible mismanagement.
All right, let's go to the next one. Next one.
They said, we have no water. I said, do you have a drought? No, we don't have a drought. I said, why do you have no water?
And this is Trump, I think, a year ago. Here's President Trump 3 months ago on the Joe Rogan podcast. That's when they broke the internet, talking about how California refuses to build water reservoirs and manage their forests to prevent wildfires. That's cleaning up all the dead fallen trees that are in the forest that serve as fuel for the fire. So let me start that over.
This is just incredible.
They said, we have no water. I said, do you have a drought? No, we don't have a drought. I said, why don't you have no water? Because the water isn't allowed to flow down. It's got a natural flow from Canada all the way up north. Water, more water than they could ever use. And in order to protect a tiny little fish, the water up north gets routed into the Pacific Ocean. Millions and millions of gallons of water gets poured. I could have water for all of that land, water for your forests. You know, your forests are dry as a bone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dangerous.
That water could be routed. You know, you could have everything. Oh, not only dangerous, billions of dollars a year they spend on forest fires. And, you know, there's a case with the environment. They're not allowed to rake their forests because you're not allowed to touch it. And all they have to do is clean their forest, meaning rake it up, get rid of the leaves, get rid of, leaves that are sitting there for 5 years. And
we'll certainly get rid of the dead fall.
And get rid of the trees that have fallen.
Yeah.
They said, we have no water. I said, do you have a drought? No, we don't have a drought. I said, why don't you have no water? Because the water isn't allowed to flow down. It's got a natural flow from Canada all the way up north. Water, more water than they could ever use. And in order to protect a tiny little fish, the water up north gets routed into the Pacific Ocean. Millions and millions of gallons of water gets poured. I could have water for all of that land, water for your forests. You know, your forests are dry as a bone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dangerous.
That water could be routed. You know, you could have everything. Oh, not only dangerous, billions of dollars a year they spend on forest fires. And, you know, there's a case with the environment. They're not allowed to rake their forests because You're not allowed to touch it. And all they have to do is clean their forest, meaning rake it up, get rid of the leaves, get rid of.
You notice that?
Okay, I think it started over again. It might have played 2 or 3 times. I wasn't paying attention. But
Yeah.
Mistwalker 11, what's up? Mistwalker 11 says came over from YouTube. Shout out to you for coming over to Rumble. The local municipalities aren't doing enough to prevent, so that this is the reason the insurance companies drop certain zip codes on fire insurance. Well, here's the thing, Mistwalker. That's the narrative. That's the excuse, right? Where the local government is going to do things to give the insurance company an excuse to drop coverage. But the plan to drop the coverage was always there. But again, it's the local municipalities, the local government officials like the fire chiefs and the mayors and so on, who are the incompetent ones that are going to take the blame for this. So even though the insurance companies may have known this ahead of time and were planning to drop coverage anyway, they played on the incompetence of these local government officials as their excuse. So now nobody's going to say the insurance companies were in on it because they pulled people's coverage. Everybody's going to say, well, we can't blame the insurance companies because the local politicians made it impossible for the insurance companies to insure these people. You see how they play that game? So the insurance companies essentially take the heat off themselves. Meanwhile, the insurance companies have been involved in all other types of treachery against the American people. So who's to say they're not involved in this one? So let's go to the next video. And guys, hit the
You
Cash
want to
App.
see somebody that
Hit the Cash App and support the show. All right, so this video, the video that I'm about to show you guys now is go back. This person right here. I want to say woman, but it's not a woman. It's like a woman-man thing. Look like Fred Flintstone and Cuban Link had a baby.
He is
this one right here. That's who we're about to see talking. And I want you to listen to the stupid shit it says. Stupid stuff. Sorry, stupid stuff. Try not to cuss.
More water than they could ever use.
you want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you.
What? Is that a true statement or is that a bullshit statement? You want to see somebody respond to your emergency who looks like you. Have you ever had to call emergency services? And did you care about who showed up and what they look like? Or did you care more about their ability to actually do the job? So the whole video starts out with some bullshit, but let's keep going.
Gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do?
Like, I swear, this motherfucker looks like some fat kid I used to bully in middle school.
That's fucked up.
What, Fred Flintstone and Cuban Link? She do look like Cuban Link, yo.
Yo, she does. That's wild. That's fucking crazy.
Cuban Link from Terror Squad.
That is crazy.
She looks like Cuban Link. But let's go.
Do this, or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire. Which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
What the what? Did you guys catch that?
What?
Somebody might say you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire. And this is the LA Fire Department Assistant Chief, Christine Larson, is exactly why DEI needs to die. This motherfucker said, your husband got himself in the wrong place if I need to carry him out of a fire. What?
Wow.
What kind of emergency responder are you?
How can you keep your job at the same
Like, that's like you fall off the roof and you break your leg and you call the ambulance and the ambulance showed up. They're like, well, your dumb ass shouldn't have been on the roof. And then just drive off. Like, what? Now I see why she was smiling so hard in that picture. Definitely not qualified.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Ow! Miss Walker on Rumble
that's
says,
irrelevant. She should be fired for
the
saying
lawyers acting on behalf of the insurance companies put the local governments on notice that if they didn't reroute the water like Trump mentioned, the zip codes would be dropped.
Damn.
And again, that's just the excuse, because remember, if the insurance companies are like, we're going to have to drop coverage, oh, well, then the local politicians are going to say, well, all right, cool. Divert that water and give them an excuse to drop coverage then. And boom, they got their excuse. So it all, like, if you really think about it, Miss Walker, it all amounts to the local politicians throwing themselves under the bus or diving or falling on that sword in order to give the insurance companies
send this dude the
put the insurance companies in the clear. Because the thing about it is, the whole point of having insurance is to compensate you in times of risk, right? It's to compensate you for the risk that you're taking in case those risks were to befall you. And many of these people had been paying their insurance premium follow Calvary.
Part of all these cars, which makes the seating program, which was augmenting rainfall.
This is getting crazy. Let's go to the next one. That's about the lost kids. That's another show. So this video right here, this guy's talking about the weather modification, because again, they're using the weather modification to claim that it's climate change. So let's run this video and see what this guy says. He looks a little zesty, a little weak in the wrist, but he's dropping some information. So let's pay attention.
The weather. Then there was another.
If it wasn't for us.
So today we're going to hit on the fires in California, and the sky's looking like this and some weird things about it. So first we start with the unusual dryness. Well, that's because this cloud seeding program, which was augmenting rainfall, stopped. So California got really dry really quick. And before anybody says they wouldn't do it, here's 687 patents on augmenting the weather.
Wow.
And there was another reporter who talked about how the firefighters have no water at all. Isn't that kind of odd? The other weird one was, look at this fire. It's on one side, and it's on the other, but it's not on anything in between. The other odd part is all these cars blocking the roads. Everybody just got out, started running, which makes no sense, and blocked the roads. And then there's all these videos of the fire jumping from house to house, but not burning any.
Yo, I told you earlier, man, something is fishy about the trees.
Yeah, that thing about the cars blocking the road, that could have been an EMP to shut those cars down.
Yeah.
Or they could have been remotely shut down, or they could have been planted there by paid operatives. But you see how he's showing the power meter, and he's talking about how the fire jumps from house to house. Those smart meters, that's what happened in the Paradise fires. They surged the houses, they overpowered the houses with electrical surges during the Paradise fires, and every copper wire in that house superheated and caught on fire and burnt it to a crisp.
Dang.
This is how you end up, this is part of the reason why you end up with house after house after house being burnt, but the grass in between.
This cat getting a little crazy on here, fam. I'm shutting this shit down. It's almost 1 o'clock too. I'm gonna finish watching him though. I gotta send him a cash app because I use this video. Man, what you think about this shit, man? This nigga is talking like, I'm deleting this, of course. But god damn. I'm kind of hoping he's wrong.
I mean, we're pretty much just about to say the same kind of shit, you know. So,
I hope
based upon the shit that they already done and been doing. So,
they could do that shit here, man. You know what I'm saying? In Jersey, there've been forest fires over here, drones, fog, same as El. Man, listen.
When you allow fucking generators and shit to get fucked up and shit, then you know that doubles the possibility of electrical fires and shit. So it's just a matter of time before, you know, the down power wires and damaged generators and shit like that, you know, start creating electrical fires, because whether they can do some shit like they did with them pagers and blew shit up by sending a frequency to it, or they could, you know, just allow the natural occurrence to happen where these generators and things that's connected to the electrical grid, because they damage, they supercharge and surge and, you know, burn up the houses from the inside out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the thing that he was saying is, you know, it's a lot of validity to it. You know,
there's a lot of validity to it. Too much.
A lot of it's just systematically how they, you know, recoup their money. You know what I'm saying? Without doing too much, because
he talks a little bit too crazy for me. So I'm what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shut this joint down, and I'm gonna finish watching his video, right, and just check out some of the stuff he says it and talk about it in the next video. Plus, by tomorrow night, by the time I fire up another video, there'll probably be new news anyway. Some other crazy shit will probably happen. We play this outro, man, so we can get out of here. God damn, this is crazy, man. I can't even sleep. I'm going to be watching the news after this. I'm going to holler at you, all right?
All right.
All right.
You're a dragon.
Dracarys.
Dragon.
You have dragon's blood in your veins.
Be a dragon.
You don't want to wake the dragon, do you?
I'm a dragon.
The world hasn't seen a dragon in centuries.
We're all liars here.
The dragon.
There is only one God, and his name is death.
And there is only one thing we say to death. Not today.
Dracarys.
Dragon, dragon. Dragon, dragon. Dragon, dragon.
The dragon.
Dragon.
Dragon, dragon. Dragon, dragon.
Dragon.
Dragon, dragon.
The dragon.
Be a dragon.
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 The dragon. Dragon.
I'm a vile man. I confess it.
I am the dragon.
Listen.
What is this brief mortal life?
Dragon.
If not the pursuit of legacy.
Dragon.
Can't we get along? No, nobody gets along. Everybody sucks. Not blacks and whites, every fucking body. I hate everybody and everything about every fucking body.
It is not.
Those people are scumbags. What are you laughing about? You're a scumbag.
When a dragon is free to roam, everything.
Dragon.
Listen.
We're about to sit down and spend some time with my friend, the Red Dragon, Reese from Philly, live.
Now they see you as you are.
But what do we have left once we abandon the lie? Chaos. A gaping pit waiting to swallow us all. Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder. Chaos. Chaos. Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder. From chaos. Do you know what the realm is? Chaos.
Whoever loses dies.
Chaos. A story we agree to tell each other. Chaos is a ladder. From chaos. Chaos. Over and over of the realm, good